right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
All right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's not static, AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. The cracker 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the facial hair that make me look fine. He was looking super cool, the ladies, man, how they drool at the shape of a U on his jawline. Well, you look amazing cause you just stopped shaving. The chicks line up so you're always dating. Doesn't make sense to have a full beard. You think it looks cool but it just looks weird. So much to do, so much to win. So grow it ear to ear around your chin. You'll never know if it will grow. So don't shave and just let it go. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch. It's a cool look, and as you get older, your chin stays warm and your life gets bolder. Hashtag charch if you're on Twitter. Nelson had a chin strap in his wedding pictures. If you want, you shave it pretty thin. People use their eyes to be staring at your chin. My strap straight fire? How about yours? You're just so popular you never get bored. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch.
Oh, it's about time. It's been 11 months. It's been 11 months, but we're back, baby. Happy church, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today.
God, that's thick.
How's she look?
That's thick.
Started pretty thick.
That's thick.
I might make it more thin as the month goes on. Hey, what do you think? I like it.
Make 50 Cent blush.
It was an easy shave last night. Came together nicely. Tam couldn't even keep her hands off of me. It was wild. What could you do?
Another Nielson child in about 9 months' time.
The chin strap is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Steve Harwell's looking down on you and shedding a tear right now.
I see that. I just retweeted your tweet from today.
The king, but yeah.
Chin Strap Awareness Month is upon us. Help us end the stigma around the chin strap by growing one of your own, or more importantly, showing pictures, tweeting pictures to us of the time that you did have a chin strap, maybe 10, 15, or 20 years ago. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Hit us up in the nasty chat. If you know what, just to help us end the stigma, hammer the thumbs up. That's what it's all about. The more likes for a charch show, the better. It'll send it out on the algorithm to other charch lovers, much like yourself.
Even just hitting that hashtag is quite the
hashtag charch.
Quite the experience there, but
all caps. All caps. That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, you like the thickness of it? Too thick?
The good part is you lead off thick. You can always take it down a bit.
Exactly.
It's better to leave a bit, and then as the month. I mean, I would say by the end of March last week, you're pencil thin.
Much easier to. Oh yeah, it just gets a little bit smaller every day, and then on the very last day, it's just pencil thin. I don't even hate that. I don't even hate that one. Anyway, a happy charge to many of you. There's no way that Calvin Pickard would allow the Oilers to roll into charge on a losing streak.
Hell no.
That would never happen.
1A.
So he managed to get that done. Played extremely well and got them the dub on Saturday. How was the rest of your weekend, buddy? What else did you get to?
No, it was the weekend. I came in here. I cleaned. I did my monthly duty.
Oh, yeah. I saw the vacuuming is terrific. Great vacuuming.
Yeah, I think I hit all the high notes. Did the baseboards and such.
Wow.
It was.
I don't think the baseboards have been touched in a year and a half.
No, they weren't.
No, that's great.
Took out the garbage. And
so who's in the month of March? Who's next in alphabetical order?
Hernan.
Oh, Hernan. That'll be a fiery, spicy clean.
Long month. He's got some time.
Yeah,
There's no point in doing it today.
You waited till the last day.
Yeah, well, his time is just kind of how
you know
it
what? That makes the most sense.
You might as well let it get dirty before
let it cook for the month,
exactly,
and then we'll get into it from there.
Now we can enjoy it. But this is a dirty time. You get in those March months or the charch and the springtime.
It starts to get dirty now.
This is going to be a big test for Hernan.
I got another rock chip in my windshield over the weekend. I got like 6 little ones now.
Okay, well
that's got to be a Nisku glass trip, does it not?
I know a guy.
I know. But how big a chip can they fix? You know, like. Because I think
we got a pretty big. We
really?
had one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Got a chip. Ding, right in the windshield.
You should look at my chip and see how it can compare to your chip on the fixability.
I will.
Because I think 5 of the 6 could definitely be fixed. It's that 6th one that I'm like, oh, imagine if they could pull that off.
You could also put some of that Rain-X shield on there.
I wouldn't mind trying that at some point.
It's pretty slick.
Tube Socks has sent in a picture of himself way back in the day. It's the closest I ever came to a chin strap. He does have like the chin strappy beard, but it leads into a full goatee. Just imagine.
Here we go.
Just imagine how good you would have looked, Tube Socks, if you just went straight up chin strap all the way around.
That's some serious Ricky from Trailer Park Boys vibes there. That hairdo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. It very much is. You're right.
Wow. Ricky.
That is right. Would you like to give me a ride in one of my dreams?
This is
like last week.
It's premonition.
Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on dreams and sleeping today. I woke up as angry as somebody could wake up this morning.
This is a terrible.
This is the
terrible
worst
dilemma.
This is the worst way to go. Like I was having a terrific sleep last night, and I just sort of rolled over and woke up for 1 second. You know, you'll roll over. Like I rolled over and I woke up ever so briefly. I was just like, oh,
must be just one.
Oh yeah, I was like, I didn't even want to look. I didn't look at my phone or anything. I was just like,
middle of the night.
Right back to sleep I go is what I said to myself out loud in the middle of the night. And then I swear to God, the moment I reclosed my eyes after having them open for like 15 seconds, my alarm went off. And I was raging just raging. It was like one of those little kids where I was laying on my back in bed and I'm hitting both my feet and my hands on the bed. Like, just come on. You got to be kidding me.
On a Monday.
I know on a Monday. Horrible timing. But then I thought, well, it is the first show of charch.
Yeah.
So let's get up and have a show.
You rizzed up that jawline and
Let's get up and have a show. Let's bring in YouTube Trev this morning. Trev, have you recovered from Cena with the all-time heel turn on Saturday night in the Elimination Chamber?
I have not. I still don't believe it.
Were you a huge Cena guy?
I don't know what The Rock did to Cena, but
man.
I'd stop taking his advice because
He wants his soul.
he wants everyone's
That's a big
soul,
thing
I
with The
guess.
Rock right now.
He's got
The
he's
Rock's
got
taking guys' souls.
Wow.
He's
he's got Cena's soul, god damn it. And that sucks, man. That sucks. Seeing the face of John Cena. He's like, oh, you know, happy go
smiling and happy.
lucky. And then Cody Rhodes drops the ultimate F-bomb. Like, that's a first. That was pretty cool. And then the crowd erupted. He was
The
like,
F-bomb was something
he was
else.
like, Rock, go beep yourself. I was like, holy crap, what's going on? And then John Cena, you know, he's just having a grand old time. And then he looks at The Rock. And I have never seen Cena make that face before. It gave me nightmares just thinking about it right now. It's kind of scary right now. I did not like that. So, I mean, full heel. That's the first time he's ever done it. 20 years in the making. He was always the good guy. And
this is like
it
his
took
last
20 years.
run.
This
hey?
is
Like,
the last hurrah for John Cena, and he's turned heel. So that's I
did
don't
you
know.
watch this at all? Did you see
I
this?
don't know what's going on.
Okay, so I'm sitting around Saturday night. Everybody's in bed. I was about to go to bed. And then I'm on Twitter and I see the memes start popping up. And I was what the heck is this? So I hop on Netflix, fast forward through I stopped to watch the end of the Kevin Owens match. Then I keep fast forwarding, skip through basically the entire Elimination Chamber. I watched the end when Seth Rollins stomped on CM Punk's head.
Of course.
And then Cena chokes him out while saying, I'm sorry. And then then Rhodes comes out. And then The Rock comes out. And Cena was playing it so well. Like, Cody Rhodes giving it to The Rock, and Cena's like, yeah. And then he goes to hug. Cody comes over to hug Cena, and Cena's hugging him, Rick. And Cena looks at The Rock, and The Rock's like, does the throat slash gesture.
Weird.
Jeez.
And then Cena steps back and kicks Cody Rhodes right in the nuts. And it was a hilarious nut shot. I'm still not sure what Travis Scott had to do with any of this.
I don't know why he keeps showing up.
That was really weird. I mean, I don't know. But I did like it. It was hilarious for me to watch. But I had kind of left wrestling right before Cena came in.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that Cena had been a sweetheart for 20 years. Like, I thought there must have been a villain script in there somewhere for him. But
yeah, even Austin went and joined up with Vince at one point. Like,
people were just like, I can't believe this happened. It was look at that look on Cena's face. Good work, Trev. Look at Cena. Look, and that's when he knew he was gonna turn.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I hate it. I
Great
can't
acting.
stand it.
I think it makes sense, though, to have The Rock and Cena, the two guys who've gone on to like become movie stars, the older sort of group, be the villains now. I got some time for it, man. I'm kind of intrigued for WrestleMania. I'm not going to lie.
Should have won an Oscar, maybe.
You know what?
For that performance?
Should have. Or they should have had Conan at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, Cena's heel turn, one of the highlights from the weekend.
I don't know if he's ever going to recover, but I've never seen him like that. I have never.
In all your years.
I was
never seen him
talking
like
pre-taping with the nerds over on the Bear this morning. And when I picked up the phone, I was like, John Cena speaking. And both of them, Yuka and McCord, were like, oh, can you believe that happened? I was like, settle down. Wow. Settle down. Calm down. It's trade deadline week, you nerds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty remarkable, man. So then last night we're having dinner and I start telling Marshall about this. And I'm like, I said, man, so John Cena went heel. And he's like, Daddy, what's heel? I said, well, he goes from being a good guy to a bad guy. So after we finished dinner, I sat the family down. I was like, you're going to watch this. This is like a little wrestling history.
You're going to watch
Sit
this.
down. Watch the Tammy's trying to not watch it. I said, watch the wrestling, Tam. So we all watched it, and Marshall doesn't watch a lot of wrestling. So when John Cena kicked Rhodes in the nuts, Marshall's like, Daddy, did you hurt him? I was like, no, don't worry, son. It's just wrestling. And Elizabeth the whole time was like, will there be blood? Will there be blood? I was like, it's fake blood. Muzz, like, don't worry about it.
But a
Everything's
couple
gonna be
marks.
fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they watched it. Tammy was just laughing the whole time. She finds wrestling very, very amusing.
Oh,
Like,
good. Yeah. That's
but yeah, it was, I don't know. When is WrestleMania? Is it in April? WrestleMania, I think, isn't WrestleMania
is that-
usually in April or something?
yeah.
All I could imagine was Bruce Boudreaux
April 19th.
Bruce Boudreaux in attendance because he was at the Elimination Chamber. Bruce Boudreaux watching that go down, and Bruce like in the crowd being like, "No!" That probably happened. You say April 19th?
April 19th
WrestleMania, April 19th
in Las Vegas.
In
WrestleMania
Vegas.
41.
Yeah, my buddy the Wuss is trying
Wow.
to sneak down there.
Is
to
he
go to
getting
that.
there?
Yeah,
Be a good one.
we'll see if he can
The
make it.
Mania.
All right, 780-218-9999. Anyway, Cena goes full heel turn, as does Calvin Pickard, as he stands on his head to get them the dub. Same thing, pretty much.
How about that depth scoring?
Yeah, how about it? Go to the net, Henrique,
Hey.
and then Corey Perry on a nice feed from Leon Draisaitl and the Edmonton Oilers. Don't blow it. Sat back a lot in the third, but Pickard was excellent. I'd give him the net again against Anaheim.
1A.
I mean,
1A.
I don't know why.
Who says you need help at the deadline with goaltending?
You play that well, you might as well.
Sure, ride the hot hand. Ride the hot hand. Absolutely.
Give him a little reward, right? A cookie, a carrot, that type of thing.
Carrot in the stick.
Yeah.
That's how we treat this goaltending tandem now.
The Nielson Show, as always, is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. And they've got a bunch of demo pickups that they're moving at a pretty good price. Not a ton of kilometers on these trucks, and you can get them for a pretty reasonable number. So check them out, www.southfortchev.com.
So the old guys are turning heel, H.E. Painting Packer says. Can you imagine when Reed Wilkins turns heel and kicks Iwanek in the nuts?
That would be something.
It'd be a dunk video for the
I was
ages.
going to
I
say
think.
for one of the slam dunks.
Yeah.
I was
exactly.
going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
can you say EST short in April? Hey, why not?
How many takes of that do we do?
Yeah.
That wasn't the shot, Maddie. One
Maddie,
more.
we're gonna need to let Reed kick you in the nuts again.
Oh, come on.
It's for the short.
Take 58.
That would be funny though. You know, I was wondering with Iwanek's on vacation for like the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks. His longest, he hasn't had a week off.
No, not since
like
we
the old
started here
place.
for
Yeah,
sure. So what should we do while he's gone? Like, is there something that we could accomplish while he's
Great
gone
idea.
that he wouldn't allow us to do?
Accomplish. I thought get away with.
No. I don't view it as getting away with. I view it as like something. Like, for example, he's got like 4 boxes sitting around the office with all those little bags in it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of verging all 4 boxes into one, or all 4 boxes into one box.
I moved one over to the
I
other
know.
one.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think we need like 10 bags in each of these big boxes when we can place 40 bags in one box.
If you want to lead the charge of reorganizing things that he's already organized, Godspeed.
The weird part is that
Godspeed.
I'm
'Cause
the
in 2
boss.
weeks he'll-
And I'm just like,
but in
I
2
don't know.
weeks
Should
he'll
we do
get
this?
back and somebody move the box.
Oh yeah, and he'll start sorting them back out again.
So you're running a risky. That charge, you're drunk. You're drunk off the charge.
I'm drunk off Chin Strap Awareness Month.
You were just.
I don't know. That's the one thing I'm like, we got to tighten up these boxes. There's too many boxes kicking around.
Well, now there's only one layer in each. You're right. You can just put
I'm also going to take, he's got like 2 boxes of scarves over there. I'm not even sure what they're for. I just start giving them away. Maddie comes back like, hey, Maddie, I got rid of all the scarves.
standing on the roof of the
What do you
building.
mean? What do you mean? Anyway, Matty Iwanek's on vacation for the next couple of weeks because he hates trade deadlines. That was it. He's just like, I'm out. Hate trade deadline week. Anyway, some much needed time with family. So enjoy your vacation, Matty Iwanek. You can text us anytime. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. Flexible payment options such as, and it can't get much more flexible than this, such as do not pay for 1 year. Purchase something now, don't pay until 2026. Gotta like that. 22 stores in 4 provinces, 5 of them smack dab right here in the Edmonton area. West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, and St. Albert Center. One of your text messages will win the text of the day today for A&W. Where Stacker Burgers are back. Lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, secret sauce. all bound to have you coming back for more. Single stacker, $3.99. Double stacker, $4.99. And the triple stacker, $5.99. Stacker burgers only available for a limited time at Canada's original burger chain since 1956. Head to A&W today. This text is in. It says, Cena started his WWE career as a heel. He was the doctor of thugonomics. Now, he's got a pretty good run as a nice guy, though. Let's lay out the show for you today. Morning announcements coming up. The Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca. Here's the question today. The Monday of deadline week. How much do the Oilers have to do this week to make you happy?
4 days, 6 hours, 37 minutes, and 53 seconds.
A trade a day keeps the complainers away.
You're on the clock, Stan.
Oh, wow. Eric put Stan Bowman on the clock.
Or 2J. The team.
The whole group.
The group.
Whoever's calling the shots, whether it be Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson, or Evander Kane, you're on the clock. Let's go.
Get that mid out.
The Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca coming up around 6:30. Good, bad, and ugly from the weekend for Play More Tables and Games.
I got your wrestling.
Are you going there for good, bad, ugly?
You just wait.
Oh, boy. Local wrestling, isn't it? Is it local? Yeah, you didn't go to local wrestling, did you?
Wrestling.
Oh, boy. Darren Dreger is going to pop by for Pro-Am Sports, where Jack at Pro-Am would like to see the others load up. So there's like no off season again. Just straight from the final to the draft to free agency to training camp. We'll have a cool bet segment around 7:25. Trade Watch. That's a segment we're doing this week. It's called Trade Watch, and it's going to be presented to you by Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. Perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role. So basically, they take journeymen and train them to be managers with a certificate program at Nate. We'll have a little bit more on that around 7:30 today. That's a good for the Italian Center, 7:45. Kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many. Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast, Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the Wrap for William Huff. Busy show today on a Monday of deadline week. How excited are you right now? If you're watching over on YouTube, show your level of excitement and help us end the stigma around chin straps by hammering the thumbs up. We're just 22 away from changing 100. Let's get into your morning announcements. How about Evan Bouchard? Power play goal.
The dam has been broke.
Power play goal on Saturday for Bouchard. It came via empty netter with 0.4 seconds left. Whatever it takes to get you off the schneid.
That's the Matthias Janmark saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter what. The puck got in the net.
Does this set up Bouchard PP goal heater? Is this a PPG heater coming in?
It's already leading in assists. You get the win. You a disastrous road trip. You get the win. You come back home. You got the Ducks tomorrow. You got the Habs Thursday. Trade deadline Friday. Let's go. Right? Like this is where it starts. Everybody say, that the win to snap. It's not going to be beautiful. It's not going to be one of the Pickard stood on his head. Yeah, an empty netter. Maybe that does get him going. Who knows? A little depth scoring mixed in. Draisaitl at his streak snapped, which, whatever. That can't last forever. All good things must come to an end.
NHL action last night, so I got distracted there. Drake's texted me. He's driving home from the airport, so maybe it may have to be on the phone. But I said we can push him back a bit if we want. Maple Leafs 6-5 over the Penguins in overtime. Carolina got by Calgary 2-1. Dallas 6-3 win there, and then Vegas 2-0 over the Devils.
Yeah, 4 points up on the Oilers. Oilers 4 points up on the Kings. Oilers and Knights both on 60 games played. The Kings 2 in hand on both of them.
Association yesterday, Lakers win again. Second place in the West now.
Against whom?
They're against the Clippers.
Again.
Clippers are just going to be the Clippers forever. It's the end of that story. James Harden, they played twice this weekend. They played Friday. They played Sunday. Lakers missing 2 starters last night. Did not matter.
6 straight.
They have not lost to a team over 500 in almost 2 months. They've lost to some really bad teams in that stretch. But against good teams, they just keep winning. And because the Nuggets lost to the Celtics yesterday, 110-103, the Lakers move into second. The Raptors did pick up a win yesterday as well. The Cavs actually lost at home, and OKC and San Antonio got a little feisty. That game, just in regulation, no overtime required, 146-132.
Cavaliers 133-129 over the Trailblazers. They've won 10 straight.
The Cavs?
Yeah.
I thought they lost. Oh, no, they won. Yeah, 133-129.
10 straight for the Cavs.
Man, they had that 15-game heater earlier in the season, too.
50-10 is their record.
Wow.
It just looks pleasing to the eye when it's those round numbers.
Bones texting today and says, if you guys don't move all the furniture back and play mini sticks while Maddie's gone, you'll never have the chance again.
I'm telling you, you're playing with fire here. Playing with fire. That is.
Atif texting in this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Talking about John Cena being a heel. How about myself being a heel? Not getting an EST membership and not being a nice guy. I don't remember when I was a nice guy. When I eventually get an EST membership, maybe I'll be a nice guy. There's a classic Atif text.
What's with the nice? Is that a Cena thing too? The nice guy. You're not a mean man or anything.
I mean,
this going off last week.
Atif.
It's nice of you to text into the Paris Jewelers inbox and not our personal phones. It's a start.
Yeah, keep texting the station, Atif. That would be best in our.
Get a damn membership.
Honestly, sign up. Sign up. Some NFL action over the weekend as well, or late last week. Matthew Stafford stays with the Rams, which means other teams are going to have to look at Aaron Rodgers.
Good choice.
They're saying that if Aaron Rodgers lands somewhere, the Jets will be like, we'll trade you Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And where's Randall Cobb when you need him? Can you not bring Randall Cobb out of retirement and also have him go with Aaron Rodgers?
I think he's driving the tour bus with Adams and Rodgers in the back.
Do you think a team actually goes and does, like, which team does this?
Okay, well.
Does a team actually go and get Aaron Rodgers and then obviously trade like almost nothing for Devontae Adams' contract? Like, I don't know which team is going to sewer their franchise for a year or two by bringing in Aaron Rodgers.
Not the Steelers.
I hope the Steelers are beyond that. You know,
they're a franchise that doesn't, like, that's now. No. Is this a Giants thing? This would be one of the most Cleveland Brown things of all time. Oh yeah,
hey,
yeah. There's always a taker in the NFL. There's always somebody who's going to pick up the phone and say, "Hey."
Somebody will do it.
Like, I know Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy. I don't know what the deal is there, but he's a California boy, right? Like,
oh man, the Vikings move on from Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
not
but they
ready
got
for
the
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I
mean, that would also, like, every one of these spots that pops up, I just go, horrible idea. You know what wasn't a horrible idea? Deebo Samuel to the Commanders as a Jaden Daniels fantasy owner in Spite League.
He knows what's
pretty excited.
He's
about
looking
it.
around the bend.
Pretty excited about it. Yeah, Deebo's a nice number 2 option behind Scary Terry. Could be a huge season loading for Jaden Daniels once again. If you're watching over on YouTube today, sub to the channel if you haven't already as we try to make our push to 11.4K. We are 7 away from changing 100 on the Monday of trade deadline week. And we're going to dive into that a little bit coming up next year with the Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca. You have your say right now. That's why we call it the Fan Zone. What do the Oilers need to accomplish this week off the ice to make you happy? Give us that answer. If you're watching over on YouTube, put it in the nasty chat.
Names.
If you're listening on TuneIn, if you're listening on iHeart, if you're listening at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us at 780-218-9999. And also, please send the link to EST to some of your friends. Word of text is what you can do there. Just send it out to everybody. And they, too, can join in on trade deadline discussions, just like we're going to do coming up with the Fan Zone next. Let's get to a sports update right now with LTE.
The Oilers returning home. They'll host the Ducks tomorrow night following their win Saturday in Carolina with the trade deadline falling Friday. Yesterday in the NHL, Vegas blanking the Devils 2-0. Golden Knights now 4 points up on the Oilers for first in the Pacific. Hurricanes edging the Flames 2-1 in overtime. Seb Aho with the winner. Wild snap a 3-game slide, shutting out the Bruins 1-0. Stars double up the Blues 6-3. Jonathan Quick playing his 800th NHL game. He gets the shutout as the Rangers blank the Preds 4-0, and Willie Nylander scoring the game-winning goal in overtime. Leafs over the Penguins 6-5. Oil Kings end their 4-game road trip 2-2 following yesterday's 5-3 loss to the Blades. The club will start a 5-game homestand Wednesday against the Brandon Wheat Kings. Raptors holding on to beat the Magic 104-102. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 31 in a OKC 146-132 victory over the Spurs, and make it back-to-back wins for the Lakers over the Clippers 108-102 yesterday. Luka Doncic 29 points. Over to the Brier, Alberta's Kevin Cooey 0-3 out of the gate. He'll look for his first win this morning against BC at 8:30. Cooey will also play Nunavut in the evening draw. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, sits at 2-0. His rink will take on PEI in the afternoon draw. And over to the U of A, Golden Bears hockey bounced from Can West semifinals. They lose 4-2 to Mount Royal in the decisive Game 3. Pandas, though, they're moving on. They get past Mount Royal 3-2 in overtime, advancing to the Can West final, which begins Thursday at UBC. More of Hour 1 of the Nielson Show coming up next with your good, bad, and ugly and the Fan Zone here in your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the facial hair that make me look fine. He was looking super cool, the ladies, man, how they drool at the shape of a U on his jawline. Well, you look amazing cause you just stopped shaving. The chicks line up so you're always dating. Doesn't make sense to have a full beard. You think it looks cool but it just looks weird. So much to do, so much to win. So grow it ear to ear around your chin. You'll never know if it will grow. So don't shave and just let it go. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch. It's a cool look, and as you get older, your chin stays warm and your life gets bolder. Hashtag charch if you're on Twitter. Nelson had a chin strap in his wedding pictures. If you want, you shave it pretty thin. People use their eyes to be staring at your chin. My strap straight fire? How about yours? You're just so popular you never get bored. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch.
Oh yeah, charch is underway. All our Nielson Show original songs, goal songs, other fun songs. Now brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. New gear, used gear, trade and consign, a sport for every season with hockey equipment and skates ready to go year-round. A family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them at 7430 99th Street or online. Check out their website, www.totemoutfitters.ca. New gear, used gear, trade, consign, www.totemoutfitters.ca or visit them 7430 99th Street. I know a lot of kids who've got their first pair of skates at Totem, including my son Marshall, back in the day when he was like 3, I guess. I got him started late. He was 3 when I put him in skates. And for that reason, I'm a loser. All right, 780-218-9999.
You'll never make it as a hockey parent doing that.
You think you're going to raise the next Sidney Crosby by putting him in skates when he's 3?
Pathetic.
All right, changing 100. Let's keep going on this. Hey, why not? Let's crank it up a notch. Are you not excited for trade deadline week?
Changing 100.
4 days, 6 hours, 24 minutes, 31 seconds.
Nobody counts down to trade deadline better than this guy right here.
EST Insider.
Man, I have to tell you, I am really loving your baby blue Cool Bet t-shirt that matches the hat you're wearing.
It's a good fit.
Your style is on point today.
I did. Sometimes you just throw them together, right? But I saw that yesterday. I have all of the hats, the station hats, and they're in like a lineup.
Yeah.
So you wear one, you put it at the back of the lineup, right?
Oh,
I had to make an audible.
Yeah,
because I pulled up the shirt. I said, "Well, what am I going to wear? Green with this?"
No, you couldn't do that.
This is
would have looked bloody ridiculous,
ice cold.
But instead, you look tremendous. You could go to the Oscars last night like Adam Sandler, and you did shave off the chops. That's a nice bare
Baby face. Yeah, you wait till you'll be here March 31st. March 31st is a Monday show.
Oh, the final day of March is final day of charch is a Monday. We're gonna have dual.
Got some time here. Got some time. Yeah,
okay? That's exciting. Norman at Combine says, "Boys, my boys got lacrosse gear from Totem. There you go.
Love it.
Check it all out. www.totemoutfitters.ca. And I'd like to personally welcome Totem Outfitters to the Nasty family. Thank you very much for being part of the EST family. If you want the best bang for your buck in the local media, business at edmontonsportstalk.com. That's business at edmontonsportstalk.com. It's an email address. All right, let's dive into, look at this. Corey B. Corey B says, I got all my gear for the upcoming heavy hockey showdown at Totem Outfitters. Hashtag advertising works.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, there we go. And they just started. Corey B's already getting their stuff. He's just like, in the future, I know they're going to be with the Nielson show. So I'm getting in now on that now. All right, 780-218-9999. Let's fan zone this thing. 6 o'clock hour. If you need a conch this morning, let me know what I'm going to conch the weather from the weekend. How about that?
Ooh, baby. I was going to say, how's the ODR going?
Oh, she done. She done. And then Tammy last night was like, the kids skated on it once this year, and now we're going to have to wait for our yard. I'm like, sorry. You have to wait for the yard. Calm down. My buddy, the wuss, FaceTimed me yesterday. I was in here. I was in for about 3-4 hours yesterday catching up on some stuff. And I'm sitting over there where Trev is doing some graphics and stuff. And the wuss is FaceTiming me. And I was actually, this is going to sound really bad. I wasn't even going to share this. But, I like to put on a movie like while I do work. So I have my iPad set up next to me over there. And you know what? I'll say this. You'll never guess what movie I watched yesterday while I was doing work. Go ahead. I was going to tell you, but I'm going to make you guess.
Pineapple Express.
No.
Damn it.
But that would have been a good idea. But I watched that like throughout the week already this week.
Goodwill Humping?
No, I did not watch Goodwill Humping.
Sperms of Endearment?
I thought about Goodwill Hunting, but I didn't.
Big Lebowski.
No, not Big Lebowski. I'm telling you, we could go the entire show. And
The Rock.
No, that would have been a good one too, though. I should watch The Rock soon.
Yeah, that's good.
You've Got Mail?
Nope. I'll give you a clue.
First come.
Nope. It's available on Amazon Prime. It's a Prime movie. There's your clue. Send your guesses in 780-218. I'll just say this. It would have been a little bit awkward if somebody else walked into the office. That's my only hint.
50 Shades of Grey.
No. 780-218-9999.
Ocean's 11 Inches.
No. Stop guessing random porn names.
West Side Story?
No. Those are funny. I mean, porn names are funny.
They're
Let's
hilarious.
be honest. Like.
Yeah.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Now, can we get to the fan zone?
Yes.
Let's get to the fan zone. I'm just looking here. Jurassic Park, Legally Blonde, Mean Girls, Superbad, Barbie movie, Showgirls. I haven't watched Showgirls in a while. Snatch, Joker 2, Snakes on a Plane. Nope. Also, here's another clue. The movie that I was watching would have been nowhere near an Oscar nomination list.
Oh.
And it came out pre-2005, I'll say. I know for sure pre-2005. Anyway, you can keep the guesses coming in. All right, let's fan zone this. Fan zone brought to you by Fans First. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for the upcoming Oilers Cup run. How about that? They return home tomorrow. Yep. If you want to get into that building for the best price, you do it with the Fan Zone and fansfirst.ca. Lots of guesses rolling in. Nobody's guessing legitimately. They're all taking your plan and guessing. It was
Pulp Fiction?
No. All right, let's get to your. All right. Let's see here. Mother Seducer. To make me happy, the others need to trade for a big right-handed defenseman to play with Nurse. Someone like Eric Gryba. I can't tell if he's real or if he's joking about Eric Gryba.
We're at this stage of the trade deadline now.
Yeah, I'm just like, well.
Michael Kesselring, perhaps.
Oh, the one that got away.
Bring him home.
Imagine if they could somehow, in like an Inception trade, get Bukestad and Kesselring.
And Vimelka.
And who's laughing now? Hey, that's what they could say. That's what Stan Bowman, he'd call in the trade to the NHL and he'd say, who's laughing now?
That's the movie.
Which one?
Who's laughing now?
No.
Phil Bill.
Okay, come on.
It's a 6 o'clock hour.
Xavier says, get me Connor Murphy on the D and Brandon Tanev or Michael McCarron. I think that would be bulk up the depth pretty good. So Xavier's looking for that one.
Connor Murphy, Ryan Donato, and Soderblom.
Well, I put out a tweet yesterday saying that what would it cost to get Donato and Murphy, and somebody immediately basically took my tweet, printed it out, put it down on the floor, and pissed on it. They were just like, first of all, Dusty, here's speed bursts. Throughout. I'm like, oh my God, we're talking speed bursts.
Well,
so apparently Connor Murphy has had the least amount of speed bursts in the league this year.
There's no Matthias Janmark.
So you don't want him. And then somebody said, Donato as a rental, please. So I guess nobody wants him now.
Okay.
So like, I don't think there's anybody to acquire that would actually make people happy. So good luck with that, Stan Bowman. Alex Tuck would be the guy. I mentioned him on Friday on the oil stream. I mean, that one would make a lot of sense. I can't find any of this guy says Brandon Carlo, please. I mean, probably aiming a little bit high on some of these guys. But I don't know, Trev, what do they need? What do they need to you're our resident Oilers fan on this show.
What do you want?
What do the Oilers need to accomplish this week off the ice to make YouTube Trev happy?
I don't think. Okay, so I'm going to go at the route where I would like one bigger acquisition as opposed to multiple mini trades.
So you're only bringing in one guy?
I mean, that's kind of what I would like.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay.
I feel like one guy moves the needle more than several guys that won't be in the lineup. And I know Gazdick talked about the importance of that last year with the Florida Panthers. They just bring in a fresh body every game when it came to the Stanley Cup final there. I see that, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if you bring in a bottom six guy, they don't really get any time on ice to begin with. So I don't see the importance there. I just feel like I don't see it. I feel like that's probably going to be what they do, but I just I don't know. I can't see that being the case. I'd like to one big fish. One big fish is what I would like. Alex Tuck,
go get Alex
Mike
Tuck.
Matheson, something like that. And I feel like that would make Oilers fans more happy. Just from being a fan my whole life, when they have went out and got, many, the Dmitry Kulikovs of the world, the Troy Stetchers of the world, when they've gotten those players, the fans are like, oh, really? We used our assets for this guy? Like, this guy won't even play. But if you used your assets to get a bigger name player to actually play big minutes, I feel like Oilers fans will be a lot more happy, and I would be too.
All right, let's see what they do. Trev wants to go one big fish. And you are a fisherman. I mean, if anybody knows about one big fish, it's you.
Yep.
You've caught several big fish. Penner's Pancake says Tuck is the ideal fish. I mean, he would be a great, that's a guy that you're not like, oh, Victor Arvidsson, bottom six. Top. No, Alex Tuck will play in your top six.
Yeah.
Simple. Like with the way that their top six is currently constructed, Alex Tuck would be in it. Should be in it. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Let's smash through 150, if not 200 by 7 o'clock today. Still 15 minutes to go and we're already at 130. Roy Keane says top six forward, top 4D and a goalie. And Roy, listen, I have a little chat with you for a second here.
Have a seat, Roy.
Yeah, Roy, just sit down.
Over there.
I'm going to explain trade deadlines to you, especially here. Nobody acquires a top six. You can't. You're not allowed to have this. Nobody acquires a top six forward, a top four defenseman, and a goalie at the trade deadline.
A lot of work.
Like I don't think that is really something that any teams have accomplished much pre-deadline over like the last 50 years. So that would be great, but you're moving a lot of assets to pull off top 6 forward, top 4D, and a goalie.
So if not the 3, you take away the goalie. Like, is it the forward we're looking at here?
I need the D man.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're kind of like, who's the big fish? I know Trevor's infatuation with Matheson, but if you're looking at that type of position, like, what's that fish there? Like,
Matheson would be nice.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of time for Alexiak, but that
you
name
still
came
have
up yesterday.
but
People were like,
defense
doesn't
for
play
you
right
is
side
still
enough. Defense would still be
that importance.
Would still be the level of importance. I mean, I think this team will be able to get some goals come playoff time, but yeah. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Shovelhead is in. Great handle. Shovelhead text in. Says, I agree with Trev. Someone who could have a legitimate positive influence on the ice and in the room.
That wouldn't be bad.
Norman at Combine says, isn't Kane and his injuries handcuffing the Oilers? Well, you know what? We have to get to that with Darren Dreger. We'll find out the absolute latest on Evander Kane with Darren Dreger when he joins us just after 7 o'clock for Pro-Am Sports, because I mean, I would think the Oilers must know the situation. Most teams in this situation would know the situation. Like, Tkachuk just went on the LTIR in Florida. Do you think there was anybody down in Florida? The media were like, well, Matthew Tkachuk, he's not going to let him know what his plan is until the deadline or right after it. Like, they have to know, don't they? Like, if Evander Kane comes back and plays the last 2 or 3 regular season games, this is the most botched cap scenario of all time. I mean, and obviously they're not working together, which is, to me, blows my mind.
You got to give him some runway, though, before the playoffs, right? You got to get him up to speed.
I believe it was Stacey Brotzel who once said it. Ridiculous.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good drop, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if I have that kicking around somewhere. I'll take a peek.
I think we'll be using it a lot this week.
Yeah.
You might dust it off for old trade deadline.
I wonder if there are some clips that we need to pull out of the here it is right here. Give Dusty 1 second. I'll get this thing sorted out.
Even the sigh would suffice.
I got a few Brotzel clips kicking around here. Let's see. Back in the day. Ridiculous. 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 That's what it is. Somebody thinking that the Oilers can get a top 6 forward, a top 4D, and a goalie. Ridiculous. But it would be great. I mean, if it pans out, it would be great. But if they're able to be that active, it would be great as well. Let's get into your good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. More on the whole trade discussion with that segment we got coming up at 7:30 today called Trade Watch. We're going to get into that. You
get a big watch for this.
You know what? We should. That we wear around our neck like Flavor Flav.
Big wrist watch.
All right, let's get into good, bad, and ugly from the weekend for Play More Tables and Games. Ping pong, pool tables, darts, to dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's game room experts, locations in Edmonton and Calgary, and of course on the internet at www.playmoregames.ca. That's www.playmoregames.ca.
World Wide Web.
That is the World Wide Web. You're right. Where is that? Do the boys have that in here? Do you have a trip?
He's got it over there.
What do I have?
The Playmore. Here we are. Playmore tables.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You hit it now too, Trev.
Oh, okay, wait.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit it.
Okay, well, bear with me here. I've got
Have a
like...
staggered. Hit it midway through, so it's kind of...
Oh, yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Playmore tables and games. Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Voice of an
Now you
angel.
hit it once, then
Great
I'll hit it once,
layering.
then you hit it again.
Okay.
Playmore tables and games. Oh, yeah. Are we wizards or what?
That's...
All right, what's your good from the weekend, LT?
I said I'd get to wrestling, but real wrestling. 7 individual medals, including 3 golds. Golden Bears wrestling team edging out the host Brock Badgers to win the 2025 Youth Sport Wrestling Canada National Championships. Congrats to them. 5th national championship for the Golden Bears. Latest coming in 2013, so it's been a while. 72, 71, and 70. That was a stretch there. Also extends the U of A's national title streak to 32 consecutive seasons now.
What?
in general in sport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, okay, yeah.
With
That's
this being the
pretty good.
first title won by the Golden Bears and Pandas in this year. So good on the wrestling. Golden Bears wrestling taking down Brock. The hosts. 3 golds.
Play more tables and games. You know what I'm going to? I'm going to go to Saturday Night Live. It was on Saturday.
Yes.
And Shane Gillis hosted and Tate McRae was the musical act. And I thought Gillis was great. I think from the skits that I watched the whole thing, but I always wonder how much of a say the host has in the scripting of the skits, because the whole show had a very Shane Gillis feel to it. Had a couple of beer skit that was absolutely brilliant. There's a few. It was a really good show. And then Tate McRae, Calgary's own, like what a stud. I know, like she's attractive, she's a great singer, but as a dancer, she's insane. Like some of the moves she's got, it's incredible. So I thought Saturday Night Live was absolutely tremendous. And to follow up like the 50th anniversary show, probably not easy, but Saturday Night Live was really good. I thought the weakest part of that show might have been Weekend Update, and usually that's one of the only reasons I watch. So yeah, Saturday Night Live was really good. I thought that was good. T. Wilson says that was the funniest SNL in years. All right, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm not lying to you. Like if you've been a fan of SNL at any point, I would check out. Like I thought all of the skits hit. Like it was really well done. It was good. All right, bad from the weekend. What are you going with for the bad?
Going to the Brier, Kevin Cooey 0-3.
Whoa!
To start the tournament. Losses to Manitoba, both Manitoba's rinks, the Dunstone and Carruthers rink, and to Epping of Northern Ontario. So 0-3 out of the gate for Cooey. Bottom of Pool A.
How's Gushu doing?
Gushu's,
Good,
he's top 3-0 right now.
All right, good.
Jacobs of the Alberta ring 2-0. They face PEI this afternoon. Cooey will play this morning against BC and also in the evening draw against Nunavut. Good to have some curling back on. Love the Brier.
My bad from the weekend. Tough playoff loss for Marshall's Wolverines yesterday.
Bounced?
We were playing against this Fort Sask team that somebody in our room had said that they only lost once throughout the season, which I found a little bit of a stretch, but maybe they did. I know one of the coaches listens to the show, so maybe he can fill us in. Anyway, we were up 2-0. Then it was tied at 2. It was 3-3 with 30 seconds left. And they scored with like 27 seconds left to go up 4-3 and then added an empty netter with like a second left. And we lost 5-3. Now, it wasn't like a one and done playoff, doing a little round robin here.
Okay.
But still, the kids heartbroken. I was heartbroken. Like on the drive home, we get home and Tam's like, "Is everything okay?" I said, I'm heartbroken for the kids. Like they played really well. I thought one of our better games of the year. And then to give up a goal with that little time left.
Well, it's the hope. If you get gazumped 10-0, it's you kind of take your marbles and leave.
And our goalie had a great game. He's a good little goalie, and it wasn't a bad goal by any stretch of the imagination. But it was just like, damn, that close. It hurt, even as a coach. That one hurt. Play more tables and games. All right, then what's your ugly from the weekend?
Well, a couple of people have chimed in the Paris Drewlers inbox 780-218-9999. Hampton Steve, Chris Sadaway. But it goes back to the Brier. Brad Jacobs, as I mentioned, 2-0. One of those wins against the Northwest Territories, thumping them 20-2. 20-2. That's 2-0-2. That's an 18-point difference.
20-2.
20-2. Brad Jacobs defeating the Northwest Territories.
Why did they not shake hands earlier? What's this about?
The last highest score was 18-1. I do believe that was last year. 20-2.
When they're up like 12-2, could they not be like, "Hey, good one, let's go have a beer"?
It finished after the 8th. They got 5 in the 8th. It was
so when it was 15-2, they still thought they had a chance.
Well, you want to play a bit.
Yeah.
3-0, 3-1. Then it was 7-1. Then it was 12-1. 13-15, and then the 5er finished off. But 20-2. Too bad for the Barkling rink.
It's 20-2.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Should say.
My ugly from the weekend. I guess I had two things. One, nobody cares about Ty Jemison of the Los Angeles Lakers. But going into the game last night, he was shooting 37% from the free throw line. Which is really, really, really bad. He was out on the court, and the Clippers were down by like 8, and they fouled him. He was out for, I don't know why, I guess they were missing some bodies. Anyway, he was out on the court in the final like 3 minutes, and they fouled him and sent him to the line. And he actually went 1 of 2 to improve his percentage. But when he stepped up to the line, the broadcaster was like, all right, Jefferson to the line. He's shooting 37% on the season from the free throw line. How are you in the NBA but shooting 37%? Now, look, small sample size with this dude, but still, that number overall is just ugly. So I was going to go with that. But then the whole Cena heel turn. I mean, if you've been a Cena guy, I wonder where Cena guys come out on this. Like, are Cena guys like, finally, about time see him do something like this?
Sometimes you like being the bad boy. Yeah.
Like, as he's leaving the stadium last night, are people in the streets crying, and he sees grown men and children and women crying because they're so devastated by the Cena heel turn?
I hope not.
Well, I would like to know. I mean, I would like to know.
Trev, did you cry?
No.
Okay. But on a scale, like, is Cena your favorite wrestler ever?
Cena, man, like, I was Cena, like, growing up.
You were?
Yeah, and my brother, he's watching today. He's like, have you been watching a little bit more WWE? I'm like, now that it's on Netflix, I'm like, yep, because growing up, it was every Monday, every Friday.
Of course.
I was dialed in. Me and my bro, we would go to trampoline and we practice all these moves and we'd wrestle, and I was always John Cena. I'm like, you can't see me, let's go. Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like for the kids, they're definitely devastated over Cena turning heel, but the adults are all for it. Like, I think a lot of people are like, about damn time, because everyone does it. Everyone's done it, but except for John Cena. So, yeah, like I was a little, like, I was taken back, and I still am, just because all those childhood memories I cherish of him being the good guy. So seeing that 5, and then the beef with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that he had back in 2016, I think it was, like I'm still kind of frustrated, but I think it'll be worth it. It will be. But the reactions online, it's like this last weekend, I've never seen anything like it. Like, the numbers, every video, millions of views. It was crazy.
Chris says the way Trev said no sounded like he really meant yes.
Maybe.
And then Justin, who coaches that Fort Sask team, Texas, said, Dusty, 1 loss and a tie all season, this team that we played yesterday. And I think we were their tie. I think we tied them at the White Mud West tournament.
You got their number.
Yeah, well, as much as anybody does.
Exactly, yeah.
As much as anybody does.
I figured him out a bit, maybe.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's your good, bad, and ugly from the weekend. Play more tables and games.
I like how that substituted the good. That's.
I just mixed it.
No,
in.
but that's the sounder now.
Just kind of. Yeah, I mean, I think it
used to have the good, the bad.
I think it works.
Yeah, much better.
Our RCN says, haven't seen any WWE since the Netflix move. Just TNA and AEW. I've actually been watching a little bit more. It's on Netflix. I can pop on if I see something. Like, if my wrestling content, basically, like consumption right now, is if I see something like becoming a meme or very popular on Twitter, I'll go over, open up Netflix, find the time, and check it out. All right, Darren Dreger is good to go. He's going to pop by next. Lots to get to with Dregs. Florida landing Seth Jones. Kachuk on IR. They still got $8 million to spend. How do they do it?
That's Zito, hey?
He's a tricky guy, a sneaky boy. We'll get into all of this with Darren Dreger coming up for Pro-Am Sports. Also in hour number 2. Hey, and if you're watching on YouTube, smash the thumbs up for us. That would be great. Also on the way in hour number 2, we'll dive into a Cool Bet segment. We got the first edition of the Trade Watch. We'll go there around 7:30. And that's a good for the Italian Center still to come. How busy are the Edmonton Oilers going to be this week leading up to the trade deadline? Dreger will attempt to answer that coming up next. Let's get to a sports update right now for Nisku Glass with Lieutenant Eric.
Yes, NHL trade deadline falling on Friday. The Oilers will return home to host the Ducks tomorrow night following Saturday's win in Carolina. Action from yesterday. Leafs over the Penguins in overtime. Willie Nylander with the game winner. Jonathan Quick's 800th NHL game. He gets a shutout as the Rangers would blank the Preds 4-0. Stars double up St. Louis 6-3. The Wild, they snap a 3-game slide with a 1-0 victory over the Bruins. Hurricanes edge the Flames 2-1 in overtime. And the Golden Knights blanking the Devils 2-0. Vegas now 4 points up on the Oilers for tops in the Pacific. 6 games around the NHL tonight, including the Kings visiting the Blackhawks. Oil Kings, meanwhile, ending their 4-game road trip 2-2 following yesterday's 5-3 loss to the Blades. The club will start a 5-game homestand Wednesday against the Brandon Wheat Kings. Make it back-to-back wins for the Lakers over the Clippers over the weekend. 108-102 yesterday, your final. Luka Doncic, 29 points. It was OKC over the Spurs, 146-132. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 31 in the win. And the Raptors would hold on to beat the Magic 104-102. Over to the Brier, Alberta's Kevin Cooey 0-3 out of the gate. He'll look for his first win later this morning against BC. Start time 8:30. Cooey will also play Nunavut in the evening draw. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, sits at 2-0. His rink take on PEI in the afternoon draw. And Golden Bears Pandas hockey. The Golden Bears are out of the Can West playoffs as they fall in Game 3 of their semifinal with Mount Royal 4-2 your final. Pandas, though, getting past Mount Royal 3-2 in overtime. They'll advance to the Can West final. That starts Thursday at UBC. Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers, and what better way than to give them a deal. Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership for a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today, get that ugly broken windshield replaced, or to start planning your spring renovation project now.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew, we got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew, my wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Rishaug and Noodles, Captain Cajun. Maybe it's fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntix and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat left the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the Canes? Macramel, Rapaport, Dreger, and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him given person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
7:04 on the Nielson Show. Darren Dreger is going to be coming up right away for Pro-Am Sports. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Amishman 19 over in the Nasty Chat, where we are 42 away from changing 200. If you're watching on YouTube right now, smash the thumbs up for you boys, all right? We'd appreciate that. Amishman 19 says, okay, we had a tampering window made from Nisku Glass. When does Paris Jewelers send the fellas a trade watch?
Ooh, baby.
That's not bad, actually.
Love it.
That's actually kind of funny. I like that. The trade watch would be a good bit. See if we can make that work. We're gonna do a trade watch segment coming up around 7:30 today. That's good for the Italian Center at 7:45. Travis Dreger already connected. Is he good to go? Okay, should be hopping on shortly, I think. Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Got a number of demo vehicles on at a really good price. Low, I think they call it low KMs. Low Kims. But lots of value at South Fort Chevrolet. www.southfortchev. Drive a little, save a lot. Lots of good text messages continuing to roll in. We'll get to a few of them. It's obviously trade deadline week. Saw some action over the weekend. Seth Jones traded from Chicago to Florida. Saw somebody say that just makes him worse. He's no good. I think a pretty decent pickup for the Florida Panthers. Yeah. Add him to what is already a pretty solid blue line. Like, can the Panthers do this again? Can they get to a third consecutive Stanley Cup final?
No.
They're approaching the deadline like they can.
Jones will have nothing to complain about, or not as much as he was in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah, I mean,
you expect that
you're going to Florida to be on the defending Stanley Cup champions.
I think he'll fit in.
You're living in the sunshine now. You're probably going to take a deep run again with the Panthers. There's nothing to complain about for Seth Jones now.
No.
The scary thing is that they have like $8 million in cap space, and that would do the Panthers go out and get like Alex Tuck, and so like that's Oilers fans they'll roll over in their deadline graves. I mean, that would not be good.
What are the Golden Knights going to do?
Well, yeah, they're going to factor in at some point.
Yeah, and it's going to be a frustrating move watching from afar.
All right, 780-218-9999. That's the Paris Jewelers inbox. Buy now, do not pay until 2026. Paris Jewelers. Keep those text messages rolling in. We'll try to sort through as many of those as we possibly can. It's going to be a busy week for our next guest. Our first guest of the day, Darren Dreger. He's brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Check out the new spring headwear styles arriving now. New era, 47 and more. They have every profile you're looking for. Fitted, flex, adjustable, and snapbacks. Located at Edmonton at the corner of Sailbury Trail, 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. And I believe Jack in that email today said they've got a bunch of new Oilers hats in and a bunch of MLB hats rolling in here right away as well. So go visit them, 128th Ave and St. Albert Trail, or of course online at proamsports.ca. All right, let's bring in Darren Dreger this morning. Dregs, you locked and loaded for a busy week or what?
Yeah, I think so, although technically I'm challenged this morning, which isn't unusual in my world here. So couldn't get the laptop fired up. So here we are doing it via cell phone. So if this is an indication of what my week is looking like, then it could be a bit of a challenge. But no, look, I mean, there's been a ton of activity, and some big name stuff too, right? Yeah. I mean, most recent, of course, being the Seth Jones trade to the Florida Panthers. I mean, there's some big names that are still being bandied about. So anything is possible, although, I would caution those who, look at trade deadline day and appear, poised for appointment viewing on Friday. And I hope that that's the case from a TV perspective, but then look around all of, the playoff battles that are still going on both sides in the East and in the West. And you can appreciate why we get back from general managers who are trying to be buyers. The seller market hasn't defined itself yet because of all these teams in the mix. So I hope it's incredibly busy. Be nice if we got a trade or two Wednesday, Thursday, just to whet the appetite a little bit more, but we'll be buckled in and ready for Friday.
Darren Dreger with us. You're right. I was looking at that Eastern Conference playoff race.
Yeah.
It just was a major buzzkill for my deadline hype. I was like, oh man, all these teams are still kind of in it. Like one of them should become a seller and do really well on the market. You mentioned Florida with Seth Jones, though. They've got some cap space with Tkachuk going on the LTIR. Are you expecting them to continue to go out and add one or two more pretty significant pieces?
I'm expecting them to add. Billy Zito is a creative GM. And contending teams and cap spending teams like the Florida Panthers, they're not going to leave unused resource on the table. Why would you, right? So I think he will most definitely be looking at what potential upgrades might be available to him. When you think of the number of games, guys, that the Florida Panthers have played over the last few seasons, it is an incredible amount. So I would think that you'd want to bring in some help up front. I look at that blue line. It seems formidable. Now they add the right shot of Seth Jones. And I'm also wondering that creativity of Bill Zito, whether he's looking at rental options or is he looking at something with a little bit of term that's available as well, because he's got some contracts to wrestle with. I don't think they've closed the book on Aaron Ekblad, and that was my original thinking when they acquired Seth Jones. Yeah. And then you look up front and they've got Sam Bennett, who's just such a key part of the success and the winning pedigree of the Florida Panthers. But can they afford to keep Sam? He's an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. So Wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. No different than Seth Jones if Billy Zito was shopping in a different market than maybe what we're thinking. So let's see if it pans out that way.
Darren, to the Pacific Division, just peeking at the neighbors right now, the Golden Knights 4 up on the Oilers, the Kings 4 back of the Oilers. What do you kind of see those two organizations doing this week at or prior to the deadline? I know this market's always infatuated/frustrated with what the Vegas Golden Knights always pull off, but what do you see the Kings in Vegas doing later on this week?
Well, LA is... LA has been in a few conversations. In the quiz, we did the regional Leafs and Penguins game yesterday afternoon, and part of every regional game we do includes a quiz, and it's more tongue in cheek and fun. But there's sprinkles of information in there, and a question was asked about the future of Mikko Rantanen and if he's traded or where do you see him ending up, and Cheryl Pounder and Jeff O'Neill both said, nah, he's going to stay in Carolina. And just as a point of difference, I said, well, I know LA has inquired and had conversations, but at the end of it all, just couldn't see a way to lock down on $13.5–14 million on an extension on Mikko Rantanen. So they pushed away at that point. Could they revisit? Yes. But I mean, look, Carolina's trying to keep Mikko Rantanen, and they very well could keep him regardless of what his determination is between now and Friday. So what does LA do beyond that? I mean, if you're kicking tires on Mikko Rantanen, then obviously Rob Blake is having bigger conversations. But sometimes those bigger conversations don't materialize into anything of splashy substance. But I think that LA is keenly aware of where they're at. And if there's some help up front that they can bring in, then most definitely they're going to do that. Vegas is always the outlier because, McCrimmon is as crafty as they come. I look at Braden Shen. I know the history of Kelly McCrimmon and Braden Shen. Doug Armstrong, the GM for the St. Louis Blues, is a tough nut, man. He just is. He always swings for the fence. But they're right in that playoff mix in the West, too. So is he going to trade away his captain while they're a point back of Vancouver in the West? Anything is possible. I think Vegas would be in on that conversation. I'm not so sure that Vegas wouldn't have some interest in Mikko Rantanen if, big capital IF here, Carolina decides that they want to actually engage in trade conversation and negotiation. So those two teams in the West are definitely teams that we're going to pay close watch on.
TSN Hockey Insider Darren Dreger with us on the show this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We'd love that. Let's get to the Oilers here. And the Oilers conversation kind of starts with this Evander Kane cap space or not cap space. Dregs, what is the absolute latest on what we're hearing from? I know in the media, it's like, we don't know what's going on. Like, are the Oilers on the same page here with Kane? Like, what's going on? What's the latest there?
Well, same page might be a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
I think the expectation was initially anyway that Evander wouldn't be available, wouldn't be ready until closer to the playoffs. And then maybe that stretches to the playoffs, right? So that you can reinvest that cap space. No different than the conversation we just had about the Florida Panthers with Matthew Tkachuk and what the Vegas Golden Knights and other teams have done in utilizing the system to their advantage. And that's what Edmonton was hoping to do. But I think that they've been told, or at least now, they expect that Kane will be back before the start of the playoffs. And that puts Edmonton in a real bind, right? Because you really can't go and do any shopping or acquire any pieces with that uncertainty unless it's dollar in and dollar out.
Yeah.
So you're literally trading contract for contract. I'm curious as to what they do with Kane, though. Is there any interest on the trade market for Evander Kane? And again, there's some health-related concerns that go along with that. But Evander Kane is he's tied into what the Edmonton Oilers can or want to do in different ways. That's just the reality of his situation. And guys, you watch these Oiler games closely. You know that Stan Bowman has to be involved in a number of different conversations. More help on the blue line. He keeps saying that he doesn't necessarily see an upgrade in goal as being a priority, and I can respect that, given, these are the same two goalies that helped Edmonton to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, but you can't have a porous game in front of the crease and continue to go on with that. So they're going to have to find a way to maybe add a defensive piece up front, a real good, solid bottom six penalty killer. Maybe they can dabble with their blue line. Otherwise, I don't know how they can't have conversations with the potential of bringing in a different look in goal. So I think Stan Bowman has a lot of things in play here.
Yeah, well, what an interesting position for them to be in with this Kane stuff heading in towards the deadline. And you mentioned that if Kane does plan on coming back and playing, it's going to have to be a lot of money in and money out, essentially, for the Oilers. We've talked about their need for a defenseman for sure, but how do they move money out? Let me ask you this question. Do you think there would be interest around the league in a guy like Victor Arvidsson, who has been okay at times, but has not been what I think you'd hoped he'd be for this year and next year on a deal as well?
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think that there would be interest. Now, in fairness, I haven't heard his name out there. I thought you were going to say Jeff Skinner, because that's automatically where we're all kind of drawn to.
Yeah, right? The thing is, with Skinner's got a no move. Like, Arvidsson has no trade protection, so I just sort of figure he might be an easier one to get done. But
well, I think he would be an easier one from a hockey perspective as well, Dusty. I mean, when Arvidsson was first brought into Edmonton, I thought this was a sneaky good ad, and it still might be. I mean, let's see how it plays out here if he doesn't get moved. I mean, I just felt like, he's a hardworking guy. I thought he was going to fit in and produce more than he has. So I wouldn't call him a misfit. I think that's unfair, but I think he is underachieved. I also do think that's fair. And in Skinner, you're right. You've got the no move clause, but Jeff Skinner also comes with some baggage, with all due respect. The offensive numbers are there, and that might appeal to some teams out there, but in the playoffs, man, you can't be sketchy or questionable defensively, and that's been the knock on Skinner. So if Stan Bowman has to put Arvidsson into play, there'd be interest in him. There's no doubt about that.
What about Alex Tuch? What do you expect? Is he going to be on the move? Because he's a piece that a lot of Oilers fans would love to add to that top six.
And lots of teams are calling Kevin Adams about Alex Tuch, and we can see why, for sure. But no different than Bo Byram or Dylan Cousins. I mean, those are pieces that the Buffalo Sabres believe are also part of their future. And down the road, they want to extend Bo Byram. And, Alex Tuch is a local guy. Of course, he was part of the Jack Eichel trade to the Vegas Golden Knights, but he plays the game the right way. He's a big part of their leadership group and a piece that they feel like they can build around, be part of that foundation of success that Buffalo's desperately still trying to piece together. So Adams has no choice, guys. He's got to continue to take those calls. But he reminds me every time I check in that it has to be a hockey trade. So if you're the Oilers and you're interested in Alex Tuch, what are you giving up to acquire that? It's not Arvidsson. It's got to be that plus, right? To get the attention of Adams. And similarly with, the teams that continue to call on Dylan Cousins or on Byram or Peterka. I mean, go down the list of, again, all these young players that we in the media all want to speculate on. But Buffalo has to be beyond trading for draft picks and even prospects. They need NHL players that are going to help the team now and help the team moving forward. And that's where it gets really tricky, because if you're Edmonton or any other team that's locked into the playoffs, are you tearing apart your roster to add a piece like that? Because I'll repeat myself, it's not going to be Arvidsson for Alex Tuch. It's going to be a lot more than that.
Dregs, last one before we let you go, and we appreciate the time here. A lot of people have identified, somebody maybe to play with Nurse, an upgrade on Klingberg. Klingberg's been okay so far, but I don't know if you can move towards the playoffs with the group that they've got right now back there. Between now and Friday, what's this market look like for defensemen right now?
It's spotty. It is spotty. And that's a challenge for every team that is, again, in that area of need, and even the depth defensemen. Let's think of the Montreal Canadiens, and they have no interest in moving David Savard. David Savard would be a real nice fit for a lot of teams, Edmonton included. But Ken Hughes told me the other day, unless somebody blows his doors off, he just sees the value in the player, in the push the Montreal Canadiens are in, and the fact that he just adds so many different aspects to the organization. So, again, unless somebody steps up in a big way, probably not going anywhere. There's been some muttering around Alexiak. Well, a team in the East told me that, they're told that Alexiak is not actually in play. So where are you going when you're looking for a depth defenseman or some form of upgrade? St. Louis has a number of names that potentially could be in play, but no different than Braden Shen. The Blues are 1 point out of a playoff spot. Are they really going to dismantle that roster or their blue line? Well, not unless somebody steps up and is willing to overpay. So that's going to be a challenging area, and I'm curious to see all these teams, Edmonton included, looking for that defenseman, where that D-man is coming from, because it's a pool that isn't very deep right now.
As always, should be an absolutely tremendous week. Best of luck getting that laptop figured out, Dregs. You're going to need all the devices you possibly can. The phone worked really well.
It's really good.
Worked really well. It's a good sign of things to come on that phone this week. So we appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, guys, thank you.
There you go. That is Darren Dreger from TSN and the Ray and Dregs podcast. And, of course, he'll be very busy with TSN and the Hockey Insidering front this week. We got our Trade Watch segment coming up here at 7:30. What would it take to pry Tuck out of Buffalo there, hey? What do you have to add to Arvidsson to get Tuck out of Buffalo? It's Trev, what say you here? I see you reaching for the mic.
Arvidsson. What about this? This might be a hot take.
Okay.
But I don't know if the Oilers can afford him.
Okay.
Maybe if he has another monster year, potentially. Arvidsson, Bouchard, Byram, Tuck. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I know people are down.
You might have to have
Bouchard,
Arvidsson and a draft pick.
I don't know.
That would be a splash.
You value Byram that high, hey? I mean, Bouchard had a huge season last year, and he's having another. Like his offensively,
he's having a solid year this year.
Like,
well, it's okay.
I don't think I do that.
He's leading in power play assists.
I don't think I do that.
I'd do it.
You would?
Big splash.
Maybe. I'd see what Buddy has to say.
I do like Tuck.
You'd make the call.
I'd make the call.
Make the call.
You're making the call?
Well, you make the call. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? Just to get a sense.
Yeah.
Of what's out there.
There you go.
You're an active GM.
I like YouTube Trev initiating that conversation with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like you
what are your thoughts on this?
You call the office and you chat with whoever pick up. Hello, is Kevin Adams there?
Yeah. Who's there? Who am I speaking to right now?
It's YouTube Trev.
Yeah.
Crafty, I think was the word Dreger said.
Byram's the left. I don't know. I'm surprised you said that. You must be very down on Bouchard right now. Are you very down on Bouchard right now?
I am a little bit.
I can tell.
I know when like he picks it up, then I'd be like, well, what was I saying? What am I thinking?
Yeah,
well, it's been a pretty tough
He just
season.
scored a power play goal, Trev.
And it's just, what if he walks? Like, what if the Oilers can't sign him? What if he's asking way too much? That's what I'm thinking.
They'll sign him. Arvidsson and what for Alex Tuck?
Where is it here? Arvidsson, 26 first, and Aki, Omishman 19 says.
Like at Arvidsson at this point, I think should still have a little bit of value. Like it's not like he's been a tire fire this year. He just hasn't been what you had hoped that he could have been so far this year. But let's just say you're going to move Arvidsson to get off the contract in the summer anyway. You might as well try to move him now and use that cap space and deal, especially. And this whole Evander Kane thing is getting bloody ridiculous. Like,
never would have thought it'd be an issue.
If Evander Kane isn't going to play until April, why is Evander Kane not just telling the team, like, hey, let's just do the playoff thing? Like, let's try to take advantage of my cap space because I've missed the entire season. Other teams are doing it. Why in the world would Evander Kane come back with 6 games left in the regular season and not allow the team to add another $4 or $5 million in cap space pre-deadline? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. 780-218-9999 780-218-9999 is where you can chime in. Pender's Pancakes says, so not only do Tampa, Florida, and Vegas have a tax advantage, but they use that LTR loophole every year. Like, this would be the thing that stings the most. Like, these other teams have done this. It's
Crafty.
worked for them.
Crafty.
And Evander Kane's like, I want to play April 10th. Like, that makes... I don't get it.
Not only are they not taking advantage of the loophole, it's actively like hurting them. It's like
it's just...
or could.
How the Oilers and Kane can't get on the same page for something like this. And what was it? How did I start that conversation with Dreger? I said something. He was like, I don't even know if I'd say that. I can't remember how I started that conversation, but I mean, if you're not going to be able to play until early April, you shouldn't be playing until late April for the playoffs and get this team a little bit of cap space to improve your own chances of maybe winning a Stanley Cup when you return. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 if we want to chime in. And we are going to get to a Trade Watch segment right after 7:30. Let's quickly hit on our Cool Bet play of the day. Today, Lock Shop's going to be interesting today, especially if Huss was a big Cena guy. I could see Huss in tears on the Lock Shop today. But we will we'll get to that.
The losing continues
at 11 o'clock today. Yeah. He went 5-0 last week on his plays of the day.
No, but we all talked about Chiefs and everything like that. It's kind of getting a bit down to earth, maybe.
All right, what do we got tonight in the National Hockey League? Capitals, they've lost a few here. They've lost a couple in a row, I think, haven't they? They're minus 159 at home against the Ottawa Senators. Panthers and Lightning tonight in the Rod Peterson Bowl. Panthers minus 125 at home against the Lightning. The Habs minus 111. Sabres minus 105. Islanders and Rangers. Man, a lot of the nice rivalry games.
Yeah.
Sabres and Habs hate each other as well. That should be a good game. Sharks and Leafs tonight. Leafs have been rolling. Minus 1.5 is just minus 141. Ugh. And then the Kings and the Blackhawks tonight.
Yeah.
Kings on the road. They're not great on the road, but it is Chicago. Oh boy, where do we go tonight? This is juicy.
Little undies action?
Nah. Actually, if we take the under in the Rangers Islanders game, put it at 6.5, and take the under there, and then move this Sabres Habs game down to 5.5 and take the over plus 167. I'm gonna have the boys boost this up. So watch for this. It'll be available in the combo cards. We're going under 6.5. in the Islanders-Rangers game, and over 5.5 in the Buffalo-Montreal game. Plus 167 pre-boost. You'll be able to find this at the combo cards over at Cool Bet. They'll be available up at the top when the boys get it ready for it. I'm going to send it off to them right now, and we'll see if they give us a little boosteroo as well. But I like that one. All right. 780-218-9999. It's time for the first installment of Trade Watch. You're going to see Trade Watch on our show. You're going to see Trade Watch on the Oil Stream today. You're going to see Trade Watch on EST Afternoons. And you're going to see Trade Watch on the Reed Wilkins Show today. All right, we're going to get to that. We've got an update, though, for Park Mazda first. Yep. We're going to take a look at some deals that happened over the weekend. How do the Edmonton Oilers get involved in all this fun stuff as well? Plus, that's a good for Italian Center still to come as well. And I promise you, it will not be a Los Angeles Lakers segment today, even though they do look really good right now. Here's the update for Park Mazda with LT.
The Oilers will return home to host the Ducks tomorrow night after ending their skid Saturday in Carolina with a win over the Hurricanes. NHL trade deadline goes Friday. 6 games around the league tonight, including the Kings visiting the Blackhawks. Also this morning, the Capitals extending goalie Lindgren. It's a $9 million... I lost the copy here.
Is it,
yeah.
Charlie Lindgren, 3 years?
Is it 3 years, $9 million?
I thought it was 3. I know it's 3 years.
I only had half of it written down. Yeah, 3-year, $9 million deal.
Yeah, there we go.
The Washington Capitals extending goaltender Charlie Lindgren, 3-year, $9 million contract extension. Yesterday in the NHL, it was Dallas doubling up the Blues 6-3. The Wild snapped a 3-game slide, shutting out the Bruins 1-0. Hurricanes edging the Flames 2-1 in overtime, and the Golden Knights blanking the Devils 2-0. Vegas now 4 points up on the Oilers, first tops in the division. The Edmonton Oil Kings ended their 4-game road trip 2-2 as they lose yesterday in Saskatoon 5-3 to the Blades. The club will start a 5-game homestand Wednesday against Brandon. Over to the NBA, back-to-back wins for the Lakers over the Clippers this weekend. 108-102 yesterday, your final. Luka Doncic, 29 points in the victory. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, meanwhile, with 31, leading the Thunder over the Spurs, 146-132. Raptors holding on to beat the Magic, 104-102. Also, the Cavaliers picking up their 10th straight victory. Over to the Montana's Brier. Alberta's Kevin Cooey 0-3 to begin the tournament. He'll look for his first win later this morning against BC. Start time 8:30. Cooey will also take on Nunavut in the evening draw. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, he sits at 2-0. His rink will face PEI in the afternoon draw. And U of A Golden Bears and Pandas hockey. The Golden Bears bounced from the Canada West semifinals. They lose 4-2 to Mount Royal in the decisive Game 3 yesterday. Pandas, meanwhile, they're off to the Can West final as they get past Mount Royal 3-2 in overtime. They'll begin the Can West final Thursday at UBC. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he's always got time to give Andy Vander Kane a little bit of work down at the dealership.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button. Thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Very impressive. Taken a few years to put all this together.
It's not a one-year quest because it's so hard to get your hands on. At this stage of my life, I don't invest in green bananas. It's a lifetime quest. Just not sure if I'm going to be around long enough to see them ripen to be yellow. You can't party enough when you win that thing. It's a party machine. Party machine.
Girl, I can't understand it. Why you wanna hurt me?
That's why it's the Stanley Cup.
After all of the things I've done for you.
It's hard. It's hard.
I buy you champagne and roses, put diamonds on your finger. Still you hang out all night. What am I to do? My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Thank you very much for being here. It is the Nielson Show. We've changed 200, and let's keep this thing going. It's deadline week.
Changing 200.
Trade watch. We're going to get into that coming up. That's a good for the Italian Center still on the way. Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast. He'll be by around 8:30 today as well. Hey, and if you're watching over on YouTube and if you've not yet subbed to our channel, please do as we make the push towards 11.4K and eventually the 12,000, which is the next number we can celebrate. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today where they have that new value menu. 5-piece nuggets, fried pickles, mini chicken wrap, mini chicken sandwich, blackened cauliflower, all for just $4. Perfect snackable items that can round out your favorite Popeyes meal. And of course, the Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. All right, let's get into our first trade watch of the week. You will see this on the oil stream. You will see it on Two Guys. You will see it on EST Afternoons, and you will see it on the Reed Wilkins Show as well. Trade Watch. Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information, visit and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP. to take your career to another level. That's nate.ca/CLSP. CLSP. So you're a journeyman and you're like, man, I want to take the next step in my career. Well, visit nate.ca CLSP and find out more about the Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, certificate program that takes you to another level with your career. And NHL teams right now are trying to take themselves to another level. Let's dive into Trade Watch here. 3 trades over the weekend, all of them happening on Saturday. Colorado. Man, Colorado's been active in the trade market. Have they not? I mean, Rantanen's one thing. They completely retooled their goaltending, and now they went out and acquired Jimmy Vesey and defenseman Ryan Lindgren. Some people call him a cycle buster. Lindgren, and they also can't forget Hank Kempf from the Rangers for Calvin DeHaan, Juuso Parssinen, and conditional 2nd and 4th round picks. So Colorado making one of their moves. Is there another one coming? Who knows? But pick a couple pretty good veterans there. I like that move for the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah.
I think they are better now than they were on Friday when we last spoke.
Active. Hank Kempf. That name goes hard, hey?
Hank Kempf. Also on Saturday, the Minnesota Wild acquiring Gustav Nyquist from the Nashville Predators for a 2nd rounder in 2026. And then, of course, the big one on Saturday, the Florida Panthers acquiring Seth Jones and a 4th round pick in the 2026 draft. 25% retained, I believe, by the Blackhawks on Seth Jones. Spencer Knight, longtime goaltending prospect, now a goaltending pro. Spencer Knight and a 1st round pick the other way. I did not dive fully into Chicago Blackhawks fans' reaction to this, but I did see some positive stuff about them getting Spencer Knight and a 1st round pick and only having to retain 25% on that Seth Jones / Darnell Nurse type of contract.
Murray McCourt's weighed in this morning.
Oh, has he? Give it to me. He's a Hawks fan. Everybody knows.
He tweeted me this about a half an hour or so ago. I put out the tweet of Murphy, Donato, and Soderblom.
Oh.
Just those 3 names.
Interesting.
Just those 3 names.
Interesting tweet.
He replies, LTE, my Hawks are not trading Murphy. Only right shot D on the roster. Not trading Soderblom. He'll be paired with Knight for the next several years. Donato is gone for sure for a high-end prospect or 1st round pick after Nashville trade over the weekend.
Oh, wow. All right, so there you go. That's the latest from our Edmonton Sports Talk, Chicago Blackhawks insider.
It's nice to have the Hawks take, yeah.
Yeah, I could still see them moving Murphy. I don't think the Hawks are too concerned about much right now, outside of maybe getting some picks. Soderblom's interesting because I saw some people reply to one of my tweets yesterday being like, Oilers got to get Soderblom between the pipes. He's having a nice year this year, but his last 3 years have sucked. So, I mean, I
recency bias?
I got to be careful on the retooling with the recency bias, I think. All right, 780-218-9999. So, Florida, a Stanley Cup contender, making a move. They bring in Seth Jones. And with Matthew Tkachuk going on the LTIR, the Florida Panthers, they're going to the dance, and they got some money to spend. That's what they've got. So I would be very surprised if Florida is not picking up another name or two prior to the deadline. Minnesota fighting for playoff position in the West. They go out and get Nyquist. And then Colorado also fighting for playoff position in the West have landed Jimmy Vesey and Ryan Lindgren. Darren Dreger, just a few moments ago in our segment for Pro-Am Sports, laid out the fact that if Mikko Rantanen does become available, that he's sure that the Kings and Golden Knights would both be in the mix. I'm just like, come on, stop, Dregs. The market's already dead here. Like, we don't need to hear that right now. We're still like, is Evander Kane going to give the Oilers the cap space they require?
You know, Vegas always has something up their sleeve. When he did mention the Kings, though, and Blake, and if it's not him, do they still kind of go try for a big fish? And he didn't really know what to say, but to know that both of them now are it's not just the Golden Knights who got to, and I know the Kings over the past couple of years have been there, but they really seem, given Dreger's words on that, I mean, they seem to think that now this is they are in the best and better position than they have been over the past couple of years. So, yeah, it was a very interesting peek over the fence to both of those markets.
Cozy texted and says, hey, fellas, do you actually have faith in this management group to make a move to help this team? They haven't shown that they can make the right decision for this team just yet.
Just yet.
It's in from Cozy. Now, I mean, Podkolson's worked out okay. Amberson's worked out okay. Some of the other bigger names have not been what you would have expected them to be. And, you know, as much as you criticize the players, the coaches. But people
did expect them to be.
I mean, management are going to have to eat that. What do you mean?
I think a few people did expect Arvidsson to be better. and
Oh yeah,
such.
that's
When
what I
those
mean. Like
moves were made,
they're not
they weren't
becoming what we expected them to be.
Yes,
yeah.
when the moves were initially made, I don't think too many people were. Now I know that the Broberg Holloway loss was one thing, but I think when Arvidsson, there wasn't a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is a terrible" on the outset. They eventually turned out to be this, but that was the roll of the dice there.
Yeah, I guess we just have to get to the point where what any of us thought about the offseason doesn't matter anymore because it hasn't worked out. You know, so if you're that management group that put that together, can you get creative here? Depending on what's up with Evander Kane's status, can you get creative? And I mean, the Oilers can't Jarrett Smithson this deadline. Like I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can just go out and get that dude. I don't see a world where that management team can't be looking at it here with Daryl Cates hovering above them, knowing how close they were to a Stanley Cup last year, and just sit on their hands and do nothing. And I'm talking with or without Evander Kane's cap space.
Calling Jared Smithson that dude.
They have to find something of relevance to pull the trigger on before the deadline. There's no way they cannot do that. I mean, they'll find something. Just a matter of if it's a fair conversation. Like I'll ask you, we were asked, so I'll throw it back to you, to all of you watching. If you're watching, hammer the thumbs up for us. And chime in the nasty chat over there on YouTube. Like, do you have faith in management to get done what needs to get done prior to the deadline? I don't know what that answer is going to be from many of you. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
Burglar says you guys should use Dusty's long ticker in the background while talking Trade Watch.
Oh yeah, like a little watch thing. Look, this is the first Trade Watch, right? Maybe I'll swing by Value Village after the show and try to find some big old clock.
Get an egg
that
timer
we can put up here or something like that. Trade Watch, 15 minutes.
It kind of, you get the sweat going, you know?
Brett says, I don't have faith in Stan Bowman, but I have faith in Jeff Jackson still.
It is the conglomerate, though. They're working together.
Yeah. I guess Bowman would be doing the legwork and Jeff Jackson signs off on anything. Would that be how we sort of view it? I think that's probably how it works in most places.
Scalding Gourd. Oilers could acquire Kyle Palmieri and JG Pajot from the Islanders for a first and fourth. Isles would retain 50% on both. Stick Palmieri in Arvidsson's spot, and JG centers the third line. Lets you move Arvidsson to an Eastern contender, and then hunt for depth D. Scalding Gourd. Trade Watch.
It would be pretty, like, if you can go and land those, I mean, that's...
Again, though, whenever somebody, and no ideas, this is Trade Watch, you're just spitballing. But it's funny that whenever we have those, it's like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Something like that should happen. Like,
that's
a knee-jerk reaction
that you don't usually have. Like, your knee doesn't do that when you hit it. But it is in this market where somebody comes up with a crafty trade, and it's like, nah, you're dreaming.
But we need to get to the point where dreams come true.
I hear you. But it's funny how that reaction, right? Like that initial ping.
I wonder if the Oilers just make one small ad, do we view it as, wow, a major disappointment, or do we view it as management has faith in this group that was the best team in the league for 2 months and went to a Stanley Cup final last year?
You smoke the Ducks, you roast the Habs Thursday.
You bring Jared Smithson out of retirement, and that's your deadline.
Kumbaya.
I don't know. I think they're in such a spot now that you can't just cruise by and make one minor addition. I just don't think that goes over very well. VR Montenegro says, my confidence level in management is a half chewy. Oh, that's it. Just a little half chewy on
that's ridiculous.
On that front. Smitty the Welder says, faith in Jackson. Laughy face, laughy face, laughy face. His signings are a big problem with this group here right now.
Bones says he has blind faith. It's their first deadline. So he's blind with no info to go on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of how you have to point it out. Rishaug, he's going to join us around 8:30 today. He tweets this just a few moments ago. My sense on Oilers deadline targets, number 4, number 5, left shot D. A forward to compete for a spot in the top 6 and a fourth line center / penalty killer. Keep in mind, if Kane money isn't available, there's that again. They're basically dollar in, dollar out at the deadline, which makes all of this very tricky. Unless they can find a deal and trade Kane before the deadline. The Oilers trade deadline.
Dollar in.
Like the Oilers trade deadline is
Dollar
standing
out.
there right now, and Evander Kane is holding their balls and just squeezing. He's just squeezing their trade balls right now.
That's a picture.
That's what's happening.
One hand too.
Like, figure this out. Anyway, we'll get in. So Rishaug basically saying what many of us are saying, and bottom 6 forward, top 6 forward, and a D. No mention of goaltending there. I know
nowhere
that
to be
disappoints
cited.
some of you, but
Yeah.
did you see Pickard on Saturday? Why do you need a goalie now? Right? The Oilers play.
Some people would still entertain that thought, though.
No, but if we're a big recency bias community, then goaltending's fine.
Yeah, no, it is fine.
Then
You're right,
goaltending's fine right now.
Yeah, so is depth scoring.
All right, let's. Chris over in the chat says, went down 0-3 in Stanley Cup final. Well, bad goalie who had to be pulled in round 2 posted a sub 900 save percentage. Get a goalie. Do you know, actually, I saw this pop up over the weekend. Stuart Skinner actually had a better save percentage in the Stanley Cup final than Bobrovsky. Can you believe that?
Numbers don't lie.
I honestly didn't. But it was out there.
And I wonder if Rishaug, that sense he had there, is that ranked from first to like?
Oh, good point.
Like we'll have to.
It was unranked.
Throw that by him. I know, yeah.
But is it
he
ranked?
knows what he's doing.
We will force Rishaug to rank the notes from his tweet around 8:30.
He does end it with those 3 famous words: "We shall see."
Oh man,
and I think we shall.
The "we shall see" is always intriguing.
Well,
that's always a good one. KD says the Oilers need a goalie. Guys, I don't think they're going to get a goalie.
You can think they do, and then that's fine. But we don't think that's what they think.
Yeah, that's a nice way to describe it. This one is this. Guys, if the Oilers don't have clarity, just trade Evander and use the cap space. But yeah, who's going to take on Evander Kane? Tell me a team that's going to take on Evander Kane right now. I mean, I don't. I mean, you're going to have to pay a pretty penny to move him.
We're going to need a bigger watch.
And then you're going to, it's just, yeah. John is in, says, despite Arvidsson and Skinner not working out yet, nice work of using that yet in there. And despite McDavid not being superhuman, we managed the best first half of the season in the last 30 years? You can't overcorrect or panic. They clearly believe in Bouchard and Stuart Skinner. I also believe that Arvidsson will be a playoff performer. The Kane situation is tough, but they'll come up on top. I believe in this management group. I agree that we need another D and a depth forward. How about John? Hey? Change his name to Positive John.
Civilian Rishaug in the chat as well. He says those are ranked.
He's in the hot tub, though.
Yeah. He's
What?
That
a morning hot tub.
You got to get ready for the
God, I want a hot tub so bad. All right. Chris says, guys, question for 3 questions too many. And we already have questions for 3 questions too many. So maybe we hit this now before we get to That's Good. Trev, can you grab that big Poppy picture from Twitter last night from That's Good? Yeah, snake that. Chris says, what movie did Dusty watch? People are still trying to guess what movie I was watching.
I asked you during the break.
My clues were, it would have been a little awkward, I think, if somebody walked in and found me watching this movie, even while I was working. It was released pre-2005, and it is available on Amazon Prime. What movie did I watch? I always like to have shows or something on while I'm trying to get work. I don't know what it is. Makes me focus a little bit better. I don't get it. Which really makes no sense. Having a movie on should not, but I don't know.
You like the white noise.
With the movie on, I don't think about all the other things.
Sure.
I just am like kind of focused on the one thing I'm doing here, and then I'll check in the movie every once in a while.
Whatever gets you there.
Yeah, so I told you what movie it was.
Yeah.
Do you think somebody could guess it?
Like, it was wild. I mean, that's a good point. 780-218-9999. And it kind of fit on the theme as what I was trying to guess as well. In a way.
Not. That's why it would have been awkward. Like if somebody walked in at a certain moment, they would have been like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just watching a movie with a bunch of twists.
You're
That's
right.
what I'm watching. You didn't know what was going to happen at the end of that movie.
Nobody puts this on for fun.
Yeah. No, it's all twists and turns and stuff like that. So 780-218-9999 if you want to keep making a guess on what movie I was watching here at work yesterday. Some interesting guesses. Risky Business, Failure. I've never seen Risky Business. Also, one of the dads at hockey came up to me in the room yesterday morning, was like, seriously? Actually, I guess it was Saturday. Seriously, you haven't seen Predator? I was just like,
really?
I'm sorry. He also had some fob update on me. So he said, what? The fob thing with the key last week.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's like, he goes, even if you take the battery out, if you still hold the fob right close to the push button, it'll still start up.
With no battery?
Yeah. That's what he said. He said, so you're never really in fear of being stranded.
No way.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
So this is just big battery?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So we don't even need...
Look, that's what he told me, and I have no reason not to trust him. Why would somebody try to pull a quick one on me like that?
I'm telling you, the battery on my fob has been dead for 3-4 years, it still works totally fine.
All right. Let's get it. That's Trade Watch. We'll come back around to it on the oil stream today. Rishaug will join us around 8:30. It is 7:52 right now. Let's dive into that's a good for the Italian Center today.
4 days, 5 hours, 8 minutes, and 0 seconds till the deadline.
Are you wearing your Trade Watch right now? Seems like you are. If you're looking for something for dinner tonight and you're like, I just never know what to make on a Monday. Well, then go to the Italian Center website, click on recipes, and not only do they give you a bunch of absolutely delicious ideas, it also shows you how to make it. That's how recipes work. And you can go and get all the ingredients right there at the Italian Center. All right, here's what's good. It's Chin Strap Awareness Month. Charch, 'tis be upon us.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the...
I have shaved in my own chin strap because I can't be a leader. And the best part about that song is the original comes from a band where the lead singer, rest in peace, had a chin strap.
One of the best.
It's the best inception of the show ever.
He put him on the Mount Rushmore.
You know what? He might be on the Mount Charchmore of Charch.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
I agree with that.
That's the song.
And I think this guy would be as well, right here.
Yeah.
Nobody put more time into their chin straps than Big Papi, David Ortiz. Look at this thing. If you're watching on YouTube, you can get a nice, close look at it. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, when you get to work later, Google David Ortiz chin strap, or just hop over on YouTube while you're here. Hammer the thumbs up for us as well. We would certainly appreciate that. But look at this thing. I couldn't make my chin strap look like that if I spent 10 hours on it.
Well,
it's beautiful.
You got the thickness down. You'd need a little coloring.
Even that photo that we have of him could go up on the left side of the mountain.
Oh,
you know, like
perfect.
that would be just as it is.
Yeah.
We
right beside Colby Rasmus.
Oh God, no! that thing. We'll get to Colby Rasmus's chin strap another day.
Ugly. Yeah.
But this, and I had you Darvish. I hit you Darvish right off the top. Still active. I believe still a chin strap guy. He was my Charch the first tweet.
Chugging it out.
But this is probably the GOAT. David Ortiz is probably the GOAT of Charch. It's just, I'm so jealous of what he's got there. it's absolutely tremendous.
50 Cent had a pretty good one as well.
Yeah.
Thick too. There's the thick and then there's the thin.
There's both ways.
And I know I like what you've done because you have a full month.
I started it thick.
But you can play around with this thing.
Yeah.
You can have it pencil width by the
right
I
down
want that.
Nice and low, eh?
Yeah. Start your rap career. Lots of ways to do this. Again, Colby Rasmus kind of takes it to the opposite end of the spectrum.
There's good chinnies and there's bad chinnies.
Yeah.
And there's none better, I think, than Ortiz. So if we were to put together, somebody was to Photoshop Mount Charchmore, I want this photo of Ortiz, just the head, obviously.
Yeah, the look.
Don't need to show, just that head on the left side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And then as we work our way through the month of Charch, we'll find who else goes on that Mount Charchmore. But Ortiz is locked in. I mean, you Darvish pretty strong too. I don't know if we want 2 baseball players on Mount Charchmore. Mind you, the sport of baseball has done a lot of good things for the chin strap.
They have carried the water, and chopped the wood.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that we could look at. Anyway, that's good. This is how you start charch. This is how you start the week. This is how you start the month with a photo of David Ortiz and probably like it almost looks AI.
Yeah.
Like that photo almost looks AI. It looks like a toy. Actually, is that a toy? Is that a cake?
Is that a cake? It's one of those cakes.
Like the more I look at this thing, it's either AI, a toy, or a cake. I'm not even sure that's a good job zooming in there, Trev. Trev, does that look
that's good.
Like an actual human to you? Or do you think this is somebody said, give me an AI of the best chin strap on the most prominent chin strap wearer of our generation?
Is it cake? I like that.
I mean, it does kind of look like cake.
The show. Is it cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the reference, Trev.
It's perfect. Everything about it is perfect. When I zoomed in there, the angles, the lighting, everything about this just makes me want to grow a charch. I can't. Chin strap, that is. I can't grow one quite yet, but yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the standard.
What do you feel about his design? He goes dip on the chin and then up to a point. Yeah,
he makes it work.
Would you
I would not do
experiment
that.
around there a little bit? No,
I would not do that.
You're a straight line and
it's not. Mine's technically not even probably a straight line. Like mine is a little bit sloppy. I'm not gonna lie,
you
boys.
squint, you step back a bit.
You know what somebody needs? Somebody needs to design a proper mirror for shaving a chin strap. So you can like have a mirror so you can see like right back here. Boom, 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 boom.
3 paned or something.
Mold.
That's what probably needs to be. That's what probably needs to be designed.
Lewis Hamilton as well with the F1 season approaching.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Especially a young Lewis Hamilton like this one here with the. I mean that's
a good one. That's a good one. That could be on the other side of Mount
Sure,
Charchmore
looking the other
because
way.
he's looking back the other way.
Yeah.
Then you need 2 people jammed into the middle. Yeah. Anyway, we are underway. We are underway with charch. I'm trying to help end the stigma. I feel others will be helping end the stigma later in the month.
Let's hope Rishaug.
And I'm sure Ryan Rishaug probably shaving in the hot tub as we speak.
I'm getting ready.
I think that probably makes the most sense. Bronco Nick says no Encarnacion. Hey, we're not there just yet. It's early in the month.
It's a long month.
There's a reason that March/Charch has 31 days.
But another ball player to hammer in the point. I mean, they offensive linemen in the NFL and baseball players and the odd F1 driver.
3 questions. Man, Lewis, a very handsome man. Having him on board for a long time as a Charch representative was pretty big. That was pretty big.
I mean, hell, we haven't even got to LeBron yet over the years.
Yeah, his is thicker, but they're oh boy,
well, long month.
The greatest to ever do it. Awesome chase down block last night. He did it again. All right, we need somebody to play kind of easy trivia this morning. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Who would like to win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual? Just text Trev, 780-218-9999, and one of you will have a chance to play. 3 of the 5 questions will need to be correct. Let's see here. Very easy today. Very easy. You are going to get this. You need 3 of 5. If you want to play, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's get to this text. Abutski says, guys, this came in earlier, and then he just reminded us of it. My good. Yesterday, I explained charch to my wife. Later, watching the Great British Baking Show, she spotted an epic chin strap on Judge Paul Hollywood. Awareness achieved. Paul Hollywood is not his real name, right? Come on, that can't be a real name. There's no way.
Who names the kid Paul?
All right, send in the pictures of people, maybe even yourself, with a chin strap from back in the day. Let's end the stigma. Let's create awareness.
Let's not forget about the chin strap penguin as well that you discovered last year during this time.
Love that penguin. I love that penguin.
The animal world
gets all of the other lady penguins. All right, we've got kind of easy trivia. We've got 3 questions too many. We've got Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast and TSN, Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the rap for William Huff. That's all coming up in hour number 3. Let's get to a sports update right now for Windsor Plywood. Leduc, where I'm sure they're having a bunch of trade deadline conversations down at Windsor Plywood Leduc as well. Let's get to the update with LT.
Oilers back home. They will host the Ducks tomorrow night with the NHL trade deadline approaching on Friday. 6 games around the league tonight, including the Kings in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. Last night, Leafs over the Penguins 6-5 in overtime. Rangers blanking the Preds 4-0. Stars double up the Blues 6-3. Wild shut out the Bruins 1-0. Flames fall in overtime to the Hurricanes 2-1. And the Golden Knights, they shut out New Jersey 2-0. Vegas now 4 points up on the Oilers for first in the Pacific. Off the ice this morning, the Capitals re-signed goaltender Charlie Lindgren to a 3-year, $9 million contract extension. The Edmonton Oil Kings ended their 4-game road trip going 2-2 following yesterday's 5-3 loss to the Blades. The club will begin a 5-game homestand Wednesday against Brandon. Over to the NBA, back-to-back wins over the weekend for the Lakers over the Clippers. 108-102, your final yesterday. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 31 in a Thunder victory over the Spurs, 146-132, and the Raptors would hold on to beat the Magic, 104-102. Over to the Brier, Alberta's Kevin Cooey, 0-3 to start the tournament. He'll aim for his first win later this morning against BC. Cooey will also play Nunavut in the evening draw. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, sitting at 2-0. He will take on PEI in the afternoon draw. And over to the U of A, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey. The Golden Bears bounced from Canada West semifinal action as they would lose 4-2 to Mount Royal in the decisive Game 3. Pandas, meanwhile, they get past Mount Royal 3-2 in overtime, advancing to the Can West final, which begins Thursday at UBC. Sports update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the facial hair that make me look fine. He was looking super cool, the ladies, man, how they drool at the shape of a U on his jawline. Well, you look amazing cause you just stopped shaving. The chicks line up so you're always dating. Doesn't make sense to have a full beard. You think it looks cool but it just looks weird. So much to do, so much to win. So grow it ear to ear around your chin. You'll never know if it will grow. So don't shave and just let it go. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch. It's a cool look, and as you get older, your chin stays warm and your life gets bolder. Hashtag charch if you're on Twitter. Nelson had a chin strap in his wedding pictures. If you want, you shave it pretty thin. People use their eyes to be staring at your chin. My strap straight fire? How about yours? You're just so popular you never get bored. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch.
I don't know about that. Hey now, grow a chin strap. Coolest dude in the place. It is the Nielson Show, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet, where this month Daniel is having his entire staff grow out chin straps.
Yes.
I think that's, I'm pretty sure Claire emailed me and said, hey, just a good news. All the guys are growing chin straps out here.
Everybody.
Yeah, the entire staff.
The entire
it's
staff.
It's not optional. If you don't grow one, you're fired. At South Fort Chevrolet, where they believe in helping end the stigma.
You're not messing around.
They also believe in selling great cars at great prices. www.southfortchev.com. If you're in the market for a new pickup truck, hello. They got some great options for you, including on some demos that are very reasonably priced with the low KMs.
Kins.
You can text us anytime, Paris Jewelers inbox. And of course, one of your text messages today is going to win text of the day for A&W. Nobody's guessed that movie yet.
I find it...
is it not crazy?
We've also brought it up on the show in the past multiple times.
We have.
It's not like it has never been discussed and people say, oh, Nielsen, I never... Once they hear it, they'll say, oh, yeah.
Of all the things I could have been watching, you can't guess this one.
But it's also one that, you don't want to be in a room with somebody walks in. Hey, what are you...
Yeah, like somebody comes in at a certain time, they're like, what are you watching? Just a great movie.
Don't
with
make
a
me
lot
go
of
over the list
plot
again.
twists. All right. Anyway, keep your guesses coming in. 780-218-9999. Rishaug will join us in about 24 minutes. Marmot Basin Snow Report, the wrap for William Huff, all still to come. We got 3 questions too many just around the corner as well. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, we're at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Please just send the link to EST to all your buddies so they can join in on the fun as well. And of course, you can chime in and converse with us at 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We are 34 away from changing 300. So let's do that. All right, Trev, who's playing Kind of Easy Trivia today?
Brother Morgs.
Brother Morgs is going to play, trying to win this gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Are you ready to stake your claim? Head to Mr. Mike's for a 2-course steak dinner for just $39.99. Start with an Emperor Caesar salad or a rustic onion soup, and then enjoy their tender 7-ounce sirloin steak with béarnaise butter, garlic mashed potatoes loaded with savory toppings. Mr. Mike's, eat locally, enjoy casually. My wife last night said to me, she says, I'm craving steak. I said, well, I know a place. And you can get an Emperor Caesar salad to go with your steak.
The onion soup sounds like you're going to make them walk the plank or
the
something.
rustic onion soup. Now walk the plank. You don't finish it. You walk the plank out back.
Into a vat of rustic onion soup.
Bronco Nick is guessing striptease. No. The
Well-
butterfly effect. Man, Jen, good guess. I love the butterfly effect, but I was not watching that. I don't think that would be awkward. Basic Instinct. Zach and Miri make a porno. No, but that is a hilarious movie. That's a funny movie, too. It was the movie Grandma's Boys, Bridesmaids, Dirty Dancing, The Text, and nobody's getting it.
No, it's just...
It's crazy.
A little
to me.
disappointing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think somebody would have got it. Yeah. Whatever. All right.
What?
Brother Morgs is going to play. Brother Morgs, you ready to roll, buddy? Do we have Brother Morgs? Trev's going to get Brother Morgs back. He probably had a great guess, too, on what movie I was watching. Bones says, I love Dusty describing food that he would never eat.
Pretty much.
What do you mean? I love Emperor Caesar salads. And I'd even try rustic onions. All right, Brother Morgs, you ready to go?
Oh, leave it.
Come
leave it.
on.
Leave it.
Come on.
He's got to play like that. That's great. I don't know.
Are you still there, Brother Morgs? We're doing it.
Come on.
I'm going to start. Chad's going to start the ticker after we read the first question. Good luck, man. Here we go. Who did the Edmonton Oilers beat on Saturday? What position does Freddie Anderson play? Which goalie got the win for the Oilers? How many NBA teams call Los Angeles home? What sport does Max Scherzer play? Got it! He got it! Wow! My God, he got it!
4 out of 5.
Unbelievable!
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
That's a paddling.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules.
Ooh, you better believe that's a paddling.
And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
That's a paddling.
The first year we took it to the limit.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Burglar in the chat says, Brother Morgs, say you got it.
Was that Brother Morgs or Peter McAllister?
The father.
If it would have...
Here, let's try to do this.
It would have been so good if...
I'm going to ask you the questions. You answer as Peter McAllister doing the impression of Brother Morgs. All right, here we go. Who did the Oilers beat on Saturday?
Carolina.
I'm not going to do this. What position does Freddie Anderson play?
Goaltender.
Which goalie got the win for the Oilers?
Pickard.
How many NBA teams call Los Angeles home?
2.
What sport does Max Scherzer play?
Baseball.
Baseball. You got it. What is this? Oh, it's a little drawing of a chin strap penguin.
Dave the welder just brought that by.
I love it.
His daughter made that over the weekend.
What?
Yes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
A charch miracle.
So it's for you guys. It's for you guys.
That is a chin strap penguin on the desk
Charlie.
right
His
there.
name's Charlie the chin strap penguin.
Charlie the chin strap penguin.
Yep.
You know what that is, guys? That's a charch mascot right there.
That's the month.
That's a charch mascot.
Yeah.
We need another. I got to go online and order another sketchy animal mascot costume. Maddie comes back and he walks in from
What is
vacation and there's a fight going on between Smash and Charlie the chin strap penguin.
I like that.
Thank you very much. Trev, take this up to the camera. Show
Is
it
that
to
paper
the,
mache?
Of course.
Or what do we? What's
you know,
the material?
it feels
there?
really like Charlie. Oh, this is great. On the bottom.
No way.
Charlie the chin strap penguin. Hashtag charch.
Love it.
Put that up there. We love charch crafts. Look at that little chin strap penguin right there.
What would he sound like if he could talk there? What's
a penguin?
You're the guy.
Chin strap penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would totally sound like this. It would sound like hello. Oh, my name is Charlie the chin strap penguin. Oh, look at me on the camera right there. Trev, please show off my little chin strap because I'm a chin strap penguin. Me and Charlie. There you go. Beautiful. That's great. Anyway, thank you very much, Dave the Welder and your kids, for sending that in. This segment, just got off the rails. One of the most legendary kind of easy trivia performances of all time. And then we hear for the first time ever the voice of chin-strapped Charlie the Penguin.
Amishman 19 says this show is going to the birds.
All right. And yet nobody guesses what movie I awkwardly watched at the office yesterday while I do work. Unbelievable. All right, Trev, that's enough now, but you can stop playing with the penguin and put it back down. Jeez Louise. I remember my first toy penguin. See how nice it is on the bottom?
Charlie, this is great.
It's nice. What a nice little treat.
That was so funny because everyone, Benny, I know for Hello Hockey, Zach, they've had issues with the phone sometimes doing like this Darth Vader thing. And they're like, have you ever had that? I'm like, no, like not once, but I listen in and I hear you guys have that quite a bit. And so honestly, and I always chuckle, I laugh so hard. So it was nice to finally have that. That was a good moment.
24 likes away from changing 300. Let's keep those coming in. Did Big U get timed out again?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
SG. He said it.
Did you? Was that you, Trev?
Yeah.
Oh, Trev is. Trev.
Law and order here. Like we can't. This isn't
be doing that.
No.
That's uncalled for.
Charlie the Penguin on Trev blocking Uke. Oh, Trev! He's a real gatekeeper of Big Uke and the SGs.
Where do you?
I'm Charlie the Penguin. Chin strap penguin.
Somebody's denying. No, it's me.
Let's get into
Paul is in.
Okay.
To the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Paul, there it is.
And it was earlier.
Paul got it. Sorry, Paul, we missed your guess earlier, you pervert. Paul got the correct guess at 7:51.
Paul Hollywood.
It was Wild Things. It was Wild Things. I was watching Wild Things at the office yesterday while I was working, starring Matt Dillon and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And a number of great twists in that movie. Even yesterday when I was watching, I was like, I'm Bill Murray's the lawyer with the fake neck thing. As I was watching yesterday, I was still just like, oh, man, I forgot that. He shoots her. And you see Kevin Bacon's wiener in this movie. If you can believe it. I thought you only saw it imaginarily in Hollow Man. So, anyway, I watched Wild Things at the office yesterday, and it was just as good as I remembered.
One of the best movie, you're walking in the theater and there's posters for the upcoming attractions and everything, and the two of them
out of the water,
bobbing out of the water.
Great scene.
Yeah.
I remember the day in grade 12 when some buddies came back and had gone to the theater to see it the night before.
Oh, boy.
And I remember who it was, my buddy Scotty Hammond. We called him the Hammer. For just because his last name's Hammond. No other reasons. Okay. Anyway, Hammer comes in and he goes, you guys have to go see Wild Things. He goes, like at that point, we were 18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, well, we have to go see this movie, Wild Things. And but still watch it yesterday. Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good movie.
I wouldn't
Flies
go back
under the
to
radar.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today for Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who just got beat out by Matt Dillon in the casting for Wild Things. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
I think Mitch would have done it better.
Yep.
I think he would have.
The whole bit.
It's one of the first things we learned about Mitch. I said he came by this. I remember when I first met Mitch, he came by the station to voice some commercials. And he came to the studio. And I said, hey, I'm Dustin Nielson. I host the morning show. He said, hey, I'm Mitch from Park Mazda. I almost got the role of Matt Dillon in Wild Things.
Look, he can voice. He's got the looks.
It was a bit of an interesting way to introduce yourself, but he did it.
It's a hell of a flex. How many other people can say that?
Yeah, not many people. Do you have a Twitter account?
It's at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow there on Twitter. I did retweet a charch photo from March 1, 2023, in which I was sporting a picture of yourself and our guest to come later this hour, Ryan Rishaug. You're talking about Mount Charchmore in imagery. Your head on this shirt is at the perfect angle. And you, I mean, I know you're coming in today thick, but this was a thin sucker.
I used to be very thin.
And your hair was, you had a tight haircut. Like that thing is just, it's part of your hair. And I think that's the like now you have the hair going and the chin strap is much shorter.
Yeah.
So kind of, but that was like a connection to your head, the top of your head.
I think
it was beautiful.
I think you can see Rob Chichkowski's eyes just over my shoulder too.
That's him, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, in the bottom left.
What was this? Was this the?
It was very important because your brow was furrowed.
I was very into this.
Yeah, you flanking Rishaug. I mean, the two of you there just keeping it real, locked down.
What was it? It looks like it was an outdoor.
But that
presser.
jawline.
Could that have
hell.
been Lucic or McDavid
Could
or
have
something?
yeah.
It'd been I think they introduced McDavid outside. Anyway, or Lucic for sure. Anyway, that's a great T-shirt. Somebody made that for you, eh? Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was you
years ago. I didn't
not you?
I didn't make that for you. Why would I put myself on a T? No, somebody else must have dropped it.
I either
off.
still
we
have it.
We have those chart shirts that have just an outline of a chin strap.
Yes,
and hashtag
I got
charch
that
on
somewhere.
them.
But I may have also donated this one, which I find absolutely hilarious.
So
that
Zach's going to
somebody
be wearing it one day when he walks in.
Well, I just the thought and idea that somebody out there could have.
Grab this photo. Grab the photo that Eric just grab it and we'll bring it up. You can put it up and
I gotta find. I hope I still have it. If I don't, that's a happy coincidence.
All right, question number 1, guys. What is the bare minimum that you think the Oilers need to do this week to please their fans? Bare minimum.
Oh, to please the fans.
To please the fans.
Well, a goaltender.
Do you think if they, you know what? As far as bare minimum goes, Rick,
to pleasing the fans,
if they did nothing but acquire, like, let's just say John Gibson, I'm just picking a name, but they got no defensemen and they got no forwards, getting just a goalie would kind of be bare minimum, but I think would also make people happy.
And what goalie? I think, again, if you're
I use Gibson as the example.
Yeah, but I think if we're making that one solitary move, and not that I'm saying that's right at all. That's cool. Keep doing that. Look at that. Trev's experimenting with some new graphics. That's not on the, that's just behind.
Can you not clear that off either?
I just tried.
It's just stuck on there now like that?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Uh-oh.
We'll get through it.
Choose a different shot.
Yeah, maybe I'll
see if it
goes
wide angle
away.
show. Oh man, we might have to go wide angle show.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Nope. I'm thinking like pick a different graphic page. See what happens there. Uh-oh. The photo of LTE is just.
Well, it's of you and Rishaug.
Yeah, it's totally
it's the inception. It's
oh, it looked like it almost went away.
Maybe if we.
Trev, have you deleted it?
I deleted it because I thought that would do something, but it's still there.
And it's still popping up like that.
Yeah.
Now, should we take the chance and move it over? And
Like,
do you think
just
it goes?
send it?
Do you think it goes away?
Let's just send it.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Nothing happens. We've had this problem once before.
What'd you do with it?
Nothing. There's nothing we could do.
Great answer, Trev. Well, we have to figure out a way to get Rishaug on, though.
That'll be okay. We did it once before. I was able to. Yeah, just got to.
Hey, no, wait a second. Are we set up on the back end of YouTube?
I did win.
That it would just keep spinning if we need to?
Yes.
Okay, so there's that.
There is that. But
We could. I mean, but if we got to do something.
But it's just the left shot. Left shot's wonky. The right shot's fine.
Oh, okay.
Like the live is fine.
Well, then don't worry about it. We're good. You should have said that earlier. Yeah.
Oh.
No, all good. All right. Question number 2.
Gibson.
Okay. Question number 2.
It's wild stuff.
If you guys could have one athlete join the charch movement and grow a chin strap in support of the movement for the month, who is it?
Got to be current or like preferably, I guess, say somebody of top of mind.
I mean, I would go Luka right now.
Yeah, that would hit you.
Let's see
that would
rolling
be
right now.
such
Let me
a.
see here.
Evander Kane has had a strap.
He had one back in the day
during his time. Hey, his younger days. I'd like to see a full team at the Brier, not just one person, but a team like the Gushu Rink. Oh, like they come to the ice, say the afternoon draw today.
All of chin straps.
And they're all just, and as the tournament goes on through the week. Now, I know it's a week long.
Oh, Trev, you did it.
Hey, perfect.
So there's that picture of Rishaug and I.
And Tichkowski in the bottom
and
left.
And Tichkowski's glasses and one eye. Yeah. And I got the head lean in. Yeah, this is back in my scrum days.
That jawline is just strong, hey?
I look like a man's man. What can I say?
You do, yeah.
Even my hair looks Cody Rhodes-ish.
Yes.
But not blonde.
You'd be wearing an expensive trade watch or something.
Definitely.
Very dapper.
There it is. So that's a nice little charch tribute as well. We're one away from changing 300, so let's hammer that thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube today. Question number 3. Guys, in honor of the Oscars last night, what was the best thing you watched on TV in the past year?
Ooh.
This is a great question.
Finished watching that 0 Day show with De Niro over the weekend.
Was that good? Yeah.
Yeah,
Would it be best thing that you've watched in the year?
No. And that's a stretch. I mean, on a television. So we're talking about like streaming services and or my cable provider, which again, I've been PVRing north of 60. APTN has been running it from the very start. And that's been great. I mean, it's a great way. It's a great journey. Gotta think.
You know what I watched over the weekend?
I always have Moneyball PVR. I've watched that 60 times already
one.
this calendar year.
I watched that Gabby Petito murder thing on Netflix. She got killed by her boyfriend when they were traveling around the States in a van.
Petito?
Yeah, it was 3 episodes. It was pretty quick. It was pretty easy watch. I think I still have to. I'm just thinking of all the things I've watched this year. I still think I might have to have The Penguin as my number 1.
Man, that was really good.
I love
that.
The Penguin. I thought The Penguin
good.
was extremely well done.
Nicolas Cage, Long Legs, that horror film came out. And did you see that? You're a Cage guy.
I did not see Long Legs. I just watched a trailer for one called Surfer.
Okay.
And he's a guy who wants to surf a break with his son. And then there's like some bad guys on the surf break.
Nicolas Cage and Long Legs. A cage you've never seen before. Yeah. Oh, it's...
What's Long Legs about? Is it about spiders? Daddy Long Legs?
Something like that. And you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs?
No.
This is kind of
I watched part of it one time. I just wanted to see the part where he goes, Clarice. But
speaking of Tuck.
I'm trying to think The Penguin just keeps coming back to me. I didn't watch a lot of movies this year.
I watched a lot of those Jack Reacher movies.
Shows or movies?
The movies with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I watched. Is there more than one Reacher?
I think there's 2. I think there's 2.
I know I watched the first one for sure. I like the first one.
He's so badass.
Yeah, people say that the show is even better.
That's what they say, but I don't think so.
I don't got time to watch show.
Tom Cruise. How can it be better?
Okay, what was your Penner's Pancakes says Landman was up there. Landman. Oh, you know what else I really liked? Landman was good. Tam and I finished Landman over the weekend. I watched Tulsa King. Tulsa King was pretty good. What's the one with Jeremy Renner? It's also Paramount Plus. Oh, Mayor of Kingstown. Mayor of Kingstown was pretty good too. I liked Mayor of Kingstown. Anyway, none of these are movies that would have been winning Oscars last night anyway.
I did watch that one with Demi Moore. The one that was in it a lot. She gets like a skin injection. You see that one?
No, I'm aware of it because she was very popular because of it. But
yeah. What's that movie here?
Conan crawled out of her.
Substance. The Substance.
Yeah, no,
real good.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
That must have been why it was up for an Oscar.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Music was good. A little bit of nudity.
Dusty, have you watched Braveheart yet? No, I have not watched Braveheart yet. I'm working on it. I'll get around to it. It's pretty much just a rip-off of Gladiator, right?
Predator.
You know what?
Predator.
I almost turned Predator on here at the office yesterday.
Well, don't do it like that, though. I want you to sit down, popcorn, a
I don't have time.
diet
I don't
soda.
have time to sit down and watch Predator, buddy. I know you want me to.
You'll
And
get-
I don't get
everything
me
will
wrong.
be-
I want to.
You will love it. You have a whole Predator soundboard.
You know what? I got closer, though, because I Wikipedia'd it over the weekend. Predator plot. And it said, alien lands in jungle. Guys go to kill it.
What else do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you fill it in. Imagine the penguin with a chin strap, Bronco Nick says.
Well, we have our penguin with a chin. I'm Charlie the Chin Strap Penguin, and I'm here for a good time.
How long did it take to get that character down? You must, like, this is a...
Well, you know what? I've been thinking for the last 3 or 4 years, if somebody ever drops off a little crafted chin strap penguin, I got to have a voice ready.
Keep it back of mind, yeah.
So that's, I've been working on it a little bit.
Oh, Carry On with Jason Bateman was good too, Rob from the Grove says.
You know, that wasn't bad.
I didn't mind
Carry
that.
On.
Yeah.
Carry On was, I mean, it wasn't brilliant, but it was good.
Yeah,
I like Carry
you'll
On.
take it, yeah.
I can't even think of what other movies I watched this year. I went to the theater.
I saw that
3 or 4
Nosferatu
times.
one. That wasn't bad.
You know, see Twisters?
Trev, what'd you
Like a
see?
good fright.
Was Twisters this year?
Well, it was last year, 2024.
Oh, yeah, but no, that, I mean,
Yeah.
in the past 12 months?
Yeah.
Oh, Twisters was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twisters
You
was
also
really
saw
good.
Deadpool and Wolverine the same day.
Deadpool, Wolverine, we did see that same. That was a good movie, too.
It was not bad. It was a fun experience.
I do like Twisters. Watched it again when I was on the plane coming back from Boston.
That's a good one.
It's a good movie. I like it more than the original, I think.
Or
at least it's close.
I have 2.
Okay.
Snatch.
Oh, because you hadn't watched it before?
Yeah, very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And it came out in 2023, but I didn't watch it until like a month ago. Oppenheimer. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Did you like Oppenheimer?
I thought it was awesome.
I
Watched
tried
it at
Oppenheimer.
Very fast paced.
I tried it twice. Couldn't do it.
No?
Nah,
You need that
shut it
theater
off.
experience.
Oh, I liked
Yeah,
it a lot.
I know. I did try to watch it on my iPad twice on a plane.
Don't hit it. There
Didn't
you
do
go.
the trick. I should have watched it at a theater or on a bigger TV.
Yep.
Did you just watch it on TV?
Yep.
A big TV, yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the volume up.
Oh, it was, just loud.
All right. So what was the best thing you watched in the last year? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Andrea says she really likes Civil War. Jason in Leduc says Moana 2 was really that forgettable for me too. No, I didn't mind Moana 2. And the soundtrack's starting to grow on me a little bit. All right, on the way. Ryan Rishaug. Apparently he ranked what he thinks they might do. And what's going on with Evander Kane here? What is the holdup on knowing what's happening with this guy?
What's going on with his back?
Is that why he's in the hot tub?
Yeah, so he said from the sim.
Oh, no.
So we just, I wouldn't mind like a status update.
Man, that is the biggest first world problem ever.
Well,
my back is hurting from playing on my golf sim, so I had to sit in my hot tub to make it feel better.
Hey,
Shoggy, you are soft. Anyway, he's going to join us coming up next. We've got the Marmot Basin Snow Report and the wrap for William Huff. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We've blown past 300, and 400 could possibly be in sight today as it's Monday of trade deadline week. By this time next week, the Oilers could look completely different or could just look a little bit different. Let's discuss that with Rishaug coming up. First, let's get to a sports update for Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with Lieutenant Eric.
Trade deadline Friday at 1 o'clock Mountain. The Oilers back home to host the Ducks tomorrow night after getting a win Saturday in Carolina. 6 games around the league tonight, including the Kings visiting the Blackhawks. Action yesterday. Leafs over the Penguins 6-5 in overtime. Rangers shut out the Predators 4-zip. Stars double up St. Louis 6-3. Wild, they end a 3-game slide with a 1-0 shutout of the Bruins. Flames falling in overtime 2-1 to the Hurricanes. And Vegas now 4 points up on the Oilers for first in the Pacific. They would shut out New Jersey 2-0. Off the ice this morning, Capitals, they re-signed goaltender Charlie Lindgren to a 3-year, $9 million extension. The Edmonton Oil Kings capped their 4-game road trip with a 5-3 loss to the Blades yesterday. They go 2-2 on the trip. The club will begin a 5-game homestand Wednesday against the Wheat Kings. Over to the NBA, make it back-to-back weekend wins for the Lakers over their city rival Clippers. 108-102 your final yesterday. Luka Doncic, 29 points. Raptors, they'd also hold on to beat the Magic 104-102. Over to the Brier. Alberta's Kevin Cooey, 0-3 to begin the tournament. He'll look for his first win beginning right now as the morning draw will take place against BC. Cooey will also play Nunavut later this evening. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, his 2-0 Alberta rink will take on PEI in the afternoon draw. And over to U of A Athletics, the hockey teams, Golden Bears, they're bounced from Canada West action. They fall in the semifinals in the decisive Game 3, 4-2 to Mount Royal, while the Pandas, they're off to the Can West final. They beat Mount Royal 3-2 in overtime. The Can West final will begin Thursday at UBC. Sports update presented by Centric Casino Sports Bar Lounge. With wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials, it's the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Centric Casino Sports Bar Lounge.
Timberlake rocks. Is that a mandate of yours? God, what are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sports? Yeah. All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the Morning Mandate with Ryan Rishaug.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan. You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
8:32 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Nielson Show brought to you by Southfort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at Southfort Chev. You can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. One of you will win A&W text of the day. Today it is trade week, deadline day. How far away are we from the deadline? You got your little countdown ticker on there?
4 days, 4 hours, 27 minutes, and 36 seconds.
Just around the corner. Yeah. Let's bring in Ryan Rishaug from TSN and the Got Your Back podcast. Shoggy, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. The real reason, I was joking about the golf sim. The real reason I actually helped a buddy move yesterday.
Oh, no.
So that has me a little train wreck today. So it's not his first world of problem. I was kind of joking, but I was in the sim yesterday, so maybe it's a bit of both.
Maybe it's a little bit of both. Yeah.
I'm a good friend.
What was your role in the move, Shoggy? Like, were you co-lifting heavy things? Were you box guy? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, so I was guy inside the trailer that would go, like, I'd be the runner I'd go down the ramp, and I would take the stuff that wasn't too heavy from the people that were inside the C-can running back and forth. So I was like the shorter route guy. I'm like, hey, I got everything in here.
Yeah.
I was like the packing guy, though. So I had to play the game of Jenga and do the packing, which we got halfway through, and then my buddy needed to repack it all because he wasn't happy with the way I was using the space.
Oh, no. So you had one job.
Well, I mean, I effectively transported everything 10 to 14 feet before it then had to be reorganized. So I wouldn't say I was a critical cog in the wheel, but I helped.
It's almost like with your kids when you're like, I should have just done it myself.
Yeah.
I feel like you were, I should have just done it myself,
right way
guy,
the first
yesterday.
time.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
You're
all
welcome,
right.
Keith.
Shoggy, interesting week here, obviously, for the Edmonton Oilers. And I think we have to start with, what do you know about the Evander Kane situation right now?
What do we know? Okay, well, the first thing I'll say is I don't believe that there is this like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Everybody knows what's going on. We'll see you in the playoffs.
Okay.
I don't believe that is the situation. So for anybody thinking this thing is cooked, could be wrong. My sense is that's not the situation. So you have Evander Kane, who I think probably is working extremely hard to get himself ready to play. And if you're Evander Kane, in an ideal world, you can get yourself a few games during the regular season, make sure you're in reasonable game shape, and hit the playoffs running as an actual option in the playoffs, right? You want to be an option, not just another guy that's available. If he hasn't played a game all season long and now you get a tough matchup in the first round, what's the guarantee you're going to go in? So my guess is Evander Kane is working really hard to try and get himself back in. As of right now, the Oilers don't know if he's going to or not. They're going to get a word from doctors to find out what does this look like. But here's the problem. Even if Oiler team doctors say, yeah, it's not looking great, it's probably going to be first round of the playoffs. If you go and spend that money, and then Evander Kane gets himself ready to play and decides he wants to play, now you're in a tough situation. So now what you have is like a multiple doctor, second opinion, perhaps the PA type scenario as well. Players actually have the right. They've got a time frame in which they can, I don't want to say the word grieve, but if a team doctor says, here is a player's status, a player has a little window where he can say, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. And you can go and get your own opinion. And then if the opinions are differing, now you're getting into, now you're getting third doctors involved and such. So what I'm telling you is that just because Oiler team doctors, if they were to say he's not good to go until the playoffs, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is no pathway for Evander Kane to get some games before the end of the year. So in the absence of complete understanding that he will not play till the playoffs, there is going to be risk in spending this money. And so that makes it very difficult for the Oilers. It makes it a dollar in, dollar out trade situation. And it's why I believe there will be a fairly full court press on this week to trade Evander Kane.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah, because I was going to I mean, it's just got to be frustrating for an organization that Evander Kane's like, he wouldn't be like, look, man, maybe I can play like April 10th, but I won't come back to the 18th and you guys can go use the cap space. So, like that's the situation you would like to see, right? It's just, why is it not like that? And why isn't it wink, like he'll be back in the playoffs? Like other teams do it.
Yeah, right. And I think that's fair comment. So I'm going to take the opposing view here just for the sake of this discussion and argument. So if you are Evander Kane, you have the right to have surgery and to rehab. You have the right to get yourself ready as quickly as you possibly can and get back into the lineup and play games so that you're extremely healthy for a point in the season that's the most important point of the season. Evander Kane is playing for, his next contract potentially. We'll see what happens, but there could be a buyout this summer. So Evander Kane needs to get back. He needs to be healthy, and he needs to be playing games these playoffs. Because if he's not, and then a buyout comes, that's tough for him. So a player has the right to rehab on a reasonable timeline and come back and be an option to play games at a reasonable timeline. And to suggest to a player, yeah, we know you might be able to, but you're not going to, right? Because that helps us. Oh, and by the way, Dusty, what do you think the Oilers are going to do if they have Evander Kane's money to spend at the deadline? You know what they're going to do? They're probably going to go get a top six forward. And you don't think that Evander Kane understands that as well? So there's all these dynamics at play, and the player has the right to rehab in a timely fashion and come back when he's healthy. Now, the counter to that argument would be, why did you wait till September to have surgery?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you look at,
There
right?
are a lot of counter arguments to that. There's probably a lot of other stuff that, there's a lot to this situation. But you ask me, why wouldn't it just be this wink, wink, nudge, nudge? And I would say, well, if you're looking at it from strictly, if you're the PA or looking at it from the player's standpoint, it's like, no. When the player's ready to go, the player is on the roster. And the NHL is going to oversee this. They'll be keeping a close eye on this. And by the way, if you're Stan Bowman, you're not taking any chances. You're not taking a risk that you're going to have some conversation that might be taken the wrong way or might come back and bite you down the road. You got to be careful in this situation, right? So you're going to see Bowman play this by the book, probably as he should, with this player. And so there is uncertainty. There is a lot of gray area right now. And it's why I believe the quickest pathway to alleviate this situation would be to find a trade.
Now, do you think they can?
Well, the question I have is, my sense of it would be that there's negative trade equity there. So in other words, you got to wrap a draft pick. You got to wrap him up in a second round pick and off he goes. Now, here would be the argument to that. Would anyone be stunned if Evander Kane had a killer year next year? Would anyone be shocked? Would anyone be shocked if Evander Kane came back in the second round of the playoffs and was really good and then knocked it out of the park next year? Because what do we know? It's a contract year. And what does Evander Kane do in these situations, right? He recognizes the moment, right? So you're a model citizen, you play great hockey, and you put yourself in prime position. So if you're the Oilers, I think that's probably part of your pitch. You're going to get a very motivated guy here. And in a contract year next year, that's probably going to play pretty hard. Now, I think everybody knows, the other elements that come along with trading for Evander Kane. And so are they going to be able to find someone to do that deal? I'm not sure. What do you think?
I mean, I just wish to me, it's got to be like, I'd like Evander Kane to realize that he has a better chance to win a Stanley Cup if they can use his cap space at the deadline and make the team better and overall have a group that has a better chance to win the Stanley Cup than if you get to play a couple of regular season games. You know what I mean? Like, that part would frustrate me a lot if I was one of those guys on the Oilers, seeing him come back and approach it the way that you laid out here. Like,
yeah. And to be clear, again, I don't know for a fact who is saying what to who. I don't know for a fact that he's standing there saying, I won't this, that, right? I'm not reporting that as fact. What I'm saying is I don't believe that there is clarity there as to what the intentions are. And I don't believe there is this understanding that's already in place that everybody, Vegas, Tampa, right? I don't believe. Now, people are going to be frustrated at that, and they'll think, well, why can't Stan Bowman just do that? Or why wouldn't that just be able to be in play? It's not allowed. It's something that is, it's cap circumvention, and it's really, really delicate. And you got to be really, really careful, because if that backfires, it goes really, really wrong. It can go really, really wrong. So I think, it comes down to reading the situation and figuring out, what's a healthy level of risk. And I just think that in this situation, you can play it straight, see what the doctors say. And in the absence of clarity, you either have to live with the fact that you're dollar in, dollar out at the deadline, and then cross your fingers and hope you get an excellent top six forward in Evander Kane coming back into your lineup, who's motivated and ready to go, and you benefit from that. So there you go. Or you find a way to trade the player, and then you're still having to use assets to make trades and make yourself better. So now if you have to spend assets to trade them, not ideal. And then if you need to spend assets, which you will, to improve your team, now you're looking at the cupboards going, yeah, that's not going to be a great presentation we make to McDavid in the offseason about all the reasons why he should sign long-term here. There's literally nothing on these shelves. So this is a balancing act, right? And this is far from simple for management.
TSN's Ryan Rishaug from the Got Your Back podcast, and you're kind of leading into what I wanted to get to, Ryan. You had a report on X this morning. Your sense on Oilers' deadline targets. You had number 4-5 left shot D, forward to compete for spot in top six, and a number 4 center / penalty killer. Now, again, two different avenues you mentioned with the Kane episode here, depending on which way it goes. How many of those itches do you see being scratched by this management group when it's all said and done? And maybe in both scenarios, with the Kane money or without the Kane money.
Yeah, I don't think all three get done if they don't have Evander Kane's money.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
So if they do have Evander Kane's money to use and they're confident they're going to get him back, then I could see them prioritizing the D and the depth center, because you've got Kane coming back, who would essentially be that guy that can compete in the top six, right? So if you think you're going to get Kane back and you can use his space, then I could definitely see them making a nice hard swing on the blue line and a bigger penalty killing fourth line type forward. If they do not have his money to use and they're dollar in, dollar out, then I could see them really trying hard to get the D done. Like, if you look at this, guys, and say, what's going to get in the way of the Oilers potentially competing for a Stanley Cup? I think most people would say, lots of people would say the goaltending, and let's set that aside. But I think most people looking at this list would say, well, they need better defense. They need more depth and better players on the blue line. So I think that will be the priority either way. And I don't believe, as of this moment, that addressing the goaltending is something that Stan Bowman is going to spend resources on trying to do. My belief is they're going to just let her ride here with Skinner and Pickard. And hey, if at the end of this season, in the final analysis, that was the wrong call, and Skinner can't quite hack it, then I think the writing is on the wall at that point. But I think they're going to have to be comfortable, and probably are going to be comfortable letting it ride this year with the two guys they have, and trying to shore up some other areas of their roster.
Ryan Rishaug with us. Bunch of people texting in saying that Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts says that Arvidsson has a no movement clause that just isn't on any of the public websites. Have you heard anything about this, Shaggy? Have you? I'm sure you'll look into it today if you haven't. But
no, and I haven't gotten through their pod yet.
Yeah,
so it's not on the public sites. Okay,
does Puckpedia now have it up?
Just now, 3 minutes
So they've
ago,
just added it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. That it wasn't.
Oh yeah, there it is. Cannot be traded, sent to minors, or waived without player approval. So there it is. Yeah.
Weird that wouldn't have popped up till now. That's kind of strange. Usually those things are out there, but
yeah. Well, sometimes too, when it's a flurry of signings in and around free agency. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Get missed a little bit,
on these sites, like Hart is amazing over at Puckpedia. So I'm not sure where that got left off. But yeah, I mean that's relevant. I don't know that trading Arvidsson is necessarily something that they can or thinking about doing at this point in time. I think he's another one of those guys that you say, okay, wasn't great through the regular season, but they've competed against Arvidsson in the playoffs. They know what that looks like. And he's a player that I think can be a little pesky to play against in the playoffs. And I think they like the idea of that on their side. But
get under your skin a bit.
Probably better off if he's on your third line than trying to squeeze into your top.
Shaggy, who would be your number one target, you think, for this team to go out and get before the deadline?
Maybe that'll be my tweet tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day.
There's not one sexy name. Like a lot of people would talk about Alex Tuck. And
you're talking up front now.
Yeah, that's up front. Forward. I mean, the blue line, we were talking about it with Dregs this morning. Like, there's not a lot of defensemen that are kicking around out there. Right? Like, the defenseman might have to come out of the woodwork here a little bit.
Well, and the left shot to me is the piece that's relevant and critical. Like, I think that as of right now, the Oilers' best option for a top 4D are Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse, and Kulak. Right? I think Brett Kulak shows every year that he's a top 4 defenseman in the playoffs. So that's why I believe if your next two are already Klingberg and Emberson, and if I were betting man right now, I would say that Ty Emberson will play ahead of John Klingberg in the playoffs.
I think so.
That's my gut right now. So you've got Emberson and Klingberg as options to compete for the right side on your third pairing. You need another guy to go in on that third pairing. And that way, that player can hold down that position in the third pairing, which allows Kulak to elevate. Now, if Kulak, you want him in your third pairing, that's fine. Now you've got Emberson and Kulak as a third pairing, which is pretty good. But if you go out and it allows you to not have to bring in a number 4. Like you could bring in a number 4/5, right? A little bit less expensive, a little bit less asset. If you're going to try and find a true, pure second pairing right shot D, you're kind of not taking advantage of the fact that Kulak has shown he can do that. And maybe you're spending more than you need to.
Yeah, so give yourself a little versatility by bringing in a guy on the left side, which might be a little bit easier to find anyway for the Oilers. Well,
exactly.
Boy, this is gonna be an interesting week, buddy. It's gonna be a very interesting week. Can't wait to see what they do. That's gonna be fun. We'll see.
Right on. Happens. Well, let's chat again. Maybe after the deadline or something. Let's hook it up.
Yeah, for sure. And when's your next episode dropping? We got your back.
We got one tomorrow night after the game. We're going to have them actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. So tons of content coming your way on all our platforms.
Makes sense. Beautiful, buddy. All right. We'll catch up next week.
All right. See you, pal.
All right, there you go. It's Ryan Rishaug. Maybe we'll try to snag him on Friday, too, if they do something of significance. Got Your Back podcast available on all of your podcasting platforms.
Can't wait for that tweet tomorrow, he said.
Well, yeah. Who is this guy? Man, the Evander Kane situation sucks, the big one. I mean, it's just, I know there's a bunch of people texting in being like, man, the Oilers can't even get this LTIR loophole thing right. But this is the thing. I don't think this is on the organization. Evander Kane had surgery in September for something that was lingering in the playoffs last year and throughout the season. And if he was a good team guy, if he was a good team guy, he'd just be like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm not going to be ready till the playoffs.
Never saw it coming,
Like,
Tom.
this is their use of...
There's no history of this.
their inability to use this LTIR space, to me, that doesn't fall on the organization. It falls on Evander Kane being a guy who's just like, I don't know, maybe if this happens, like if they can't use the LTIR space and Evander Kane plays three games at the end of the regular season, I mean, the other teams were able to do this because they weren't dealing with Evander Kane. There, done. End of story.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
Well, no, but it's the truth.
I know, but it's like nobody wants to hear it.
I mean, you've had this situation where you could probably very easily be like, I'm not going to be ready till the playoffs. So then just let everybody know you're not going to be ready to the playoffs and let the team go out and use your cap space and come back and have a better chance to win the Stanley Cup. Like, I know it's bizarre. It's strange to me, man. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But it's in the end, it's Evander's call. So, he has to do what he deems is best for him. And if that is to play 5 or 6 regular season games, and then, maybe he becomes a monster in the playoffs. I mean, there's always that possibility, but I don't know. It's frustrating, I think, for Oilers fans out there because other teams do it all the time and they're getting up to the deadline with the Oilers and it's like, well, what's Evander Kane going to do? And it's
hard.
It's tough, but overall it's kind of not surprising. KD says, actually, no, it's not. It's the doctors. Yeah. Okay. Sure thing. Come on.
Well, now we're getting into, as Ryan pointed out too, like the multiple doctors and everything, and this
is like what we're basically getting to, like what Rishaug kind of alluded to. What could be happening here is you've got a player being like, "I am going to be healthy enough to play," and the team's like, "No, you're not." Like this is not how it's supposed to go. Hopefully, we hear at some point before the deadline that Evander Kane won't be back to the playoffs. The others can use the cap space, and Kane comes in on fire at playoff time. That's what you really want to see. That would be best, I think, for everybody involved. And then it's interesting. Like, could they trade him before Friday? And how much do you have to give up to move him?
Yeah, and Shoggy said, the full court press.
A real fascinating situation on our hands here. Yeah, no, it's going to be intriguing, that's for sure. All right. Marmot Basin Snow Report. Let's get into this. Marmot Basin Snow Report right now. Let's find out what happened up at the hill over the weekend. Why not?
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked? I'm
stoked.
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
And you've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
Marmot Basin Snow Report, 6 centimeters of new snow overnight. The freshie. Settled snowpack sitting at 89. Conditions through the mountains, very good. All lifts are operating. Temperature this morning, -5. Expected high of -3 today. And a reminder to all the skiers and snowboarders out there that Marmot is open right through until May 4th. So get your butt up there and enjoy the mountains and some great skiing and snowboarding. All the way till May 4th. Ski Marmot. Got the freshie.
Clap your hands. 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 Keep your hands alive. Clap your hands. Keep your hands alive.
Makes my day. All right, 8:54 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. And, some people were saying, I feel like the Oilers and Evander Kane must have this all sorted out. Like, it seems crazy for them to not be on the same page. But from what everybody is saying, they aren't on the same page right now. Or they don't know what is going to be available to we can only react to what has been reported by people. And what has been reported by people is that the Oilers, as of this moment, aren't necessarily sure what their cap situation looks like because of Evander Kane's status. So maybe some more coming up on the Hangout today. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, get it done. Bruce and the team at William Huff. WilliamHuff.com. They've been doing it since 1952. 1952. FUKIN Google says Kane is not coming back into the playoffs. Just noise to prove that it's above board. I mean, I totally would like to buy into that.
That's
theory.
a scenario. No, that's
let's make it such a weird conversation that there's no way people couldn't believe it.
But going back
if that's what it is, Kane's a genius and the Oilers too.
Earlier in the show, when we threw a trade proposal to you, you're like, that's not good. You're conditioned to think that's not how it works based on prior moves by this organization. So yeah, that could be it, but the fact that seems so outlandish is quite telling.
All right, what did we learn on the show today, boys?
Well, I learned eventually that Charlie Lindgren extended
3
with
years,
Washington.
$3 million.
I had it down on my copy, and then it didn't copy. It said Capitals goaltender Lindgren, and it had no money.
And that's it. It
so
just
I had
left
to
you
go
like
back
that.
and get the name, and then when you're reading it, you're live. So you get the Washington Capitals re-signing goaltender Charlie Lindgren, 3 years, $9 million extension. Him and Logan now. Thompson.
I learned that we welcome Totem Outdoor Outfitters aboard the Nielson Show,
Real
sponsoring
nice.
all of our Nielson Show original songs, new gear, used gear, trading consign, a sport for every season with hockey and equipment and skates ready to go year round. Family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them at 7430 99th Street. Also, the Nate Trade Watch segment is going to be a good one. We're going to have that on like 4 shows every single day between now and the deadline. If you want to take your career to the next level, leadership and supervision program for the construction over at nate.ca/CLSP. Let's get to your sound of the day. There's only one way to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's charch.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the facial hair that make me look fine. He was looking super cool. The ladies, man, how they drool at the shape of a U on his jawline. Well, you look amazing cause you just stopped shaving. The chicks line up so you're always dating. Doesn't make sense to have a full beard. You think it looks cool but it just looks weird. So much to do, so much to win. So grow it ear to ear around your chin. You'll never know if it will grow. So don't shave and just let it go. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch. It's a cool look, and as you get older, your chin stays warm and your life gets bolder. Hashtag charch if you're on Twitter. Nelson had a chin strap in his wedding pictures. If you want, you shave it pretty thin. People use their eyes to be staring at your chin. My strap straight fire? How about yours? You're just so popular you never get bored. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate charch.
Oh, that's nice. Chin Strap Awareness Month is upon us. Help us end the stigma. And either grow a sweet chin strap or tweet us pictures of your old chin strap or other people with chin straps.
So thick.
I saw a chin strap over the weekend in the wild. It was terrific.
In the wild?
In the wild. It was great. I loved it. All of our Nielsen Show songs now brought to you by Totem Outfitters. Check them out, www.totemoutfitters.ca. All right, let's continue with the rap for William Huff. And where do we go for text of the day today, boys? Whew.
Well, somebody did guess the movie that you were watching.
Yeah, let's go to Paul.
I mean, that's a pretty good guess. And he guessed it twice.
I think it's just Paul, right? Paul.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
Congratulations, Paul. You won text of the day. You guessed that while I was in here working yesterday, I watched the movie Wild Things.
Yeah, he also said that's a real HR issue for workplace viewing.
Well, if other people were around, but I was just by myself. I was working. I was getting a bunch of stuff done.
He was working.
Yeah. Nobody goes into work and just watches Wild Things. You go into work and you do other stuff.
I was
Wild
cleaning
Things
here
on.
Friday night.
Yeah. All right. What are we watching tonight, boys?
The Brier, baby. Kings and Blackhawks tonight as well. The Kings, we all know about their home record. Away, not so much. So a little out of town viewing there when it comes to the Oilers and the Kings right now. 2 games in hand and 4 points back of Edmonton. But yeah, I'll be having the Brier on 8:30 this morning. The morning draw already underway. Cooey on the ice. Jacobs later this afternoon, and Cooey back again this evening. So lots of Brier from Kelowna.
Oh, the big Jaheezy's in. Jerry Montajon coming up on the hangout with Tommy Gazzola. That's going to be good. All right, and I will just be refreshing Twitter to find out the latest on the deadline.
Smoke screens everywhere.
Oh, so many smoke screens. This is one big smoke screen.
It's
the
all
whole
a smoke
thing.
screen.
Evander Kane's not returning to the second round. But he's healthy for a month. Wouldn't that be something? All right, we'll see where it goes. The hangout is coming up next, presented to you by Sentinel Storage.
Maybe a bye-bye from Charlie.
Oh, I get it. And to kick off our first charch show, huge shout out to Dave the Welder's kid for building us this little chin strap penguin.
Labor love.
Charlie, the chin strap penguin. Hashtag charch. It's a pleasure to be here. No, that's not my voice.
Can be.
I can't do it right now. There's no accent. It's just
there's no accent.
I'm Chin Strap Charlie, and I'm very excited to be.
Get him to say walk the plank. Rustic onion soup.
Oh, I'm Chin Strap Charlie, and I'm very excited to be here. Would you like some rustic onion soup? We'll talk to you tomorrow. For you two, Trev and Lieutenant Eric and Dustin, I'm Chin Strap Charlie saying enjoy the third day of charch. Take it easy.